Okay, we should be live again. Welcome to Starfinder, the Fragments of Eternity. I am Ryan, the GM. It's the 17th of May, 2021. It's also session 94. And here are the players.
Hello, and welcome to session 94. I am Colin. I will be playing Lyco Quint, your resident sneaky, spooky space cop coast to coast.
Hello, I am Nico. I'm playing Zora, the Vice
The
Captain,
voice of feminism.
Admiral. I'm loving the toga thing, right?
Sash. Yes.
Listen, Ryan had to work very hard to become homeowner.
Yes.
That's true. I don't know if
Into that
your
chapter.
stream Ryan has selected your webcam mic
Oh, that's a good point.
instead
Let's
of your
double check.
thingy because it
Yep,
sounds
it has.
weird.
Yeah, there's any weirdness.
Just now, and then let's go back.
I thought that was a wig. Well. Hast thou considered tetrapods?
Let's see.
And
Where's the button I need to push to go back? Okay. Yeah, that should be it, Calum. Does that sound better to you?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Yep. Much improved.
Good.
Right, okay, I'm now going to mute that. Because that got really confusing really quickly. Hi, I'm Callum, and I'll be playing Zig, the mystical space rat from the sun.
We're doing so well.
You're not so spooky, but still a little kooky. Altogether, Zig.
Pretty spooky though.
He's pretty spooky.
Really.
Yeah.
I think Zig doesn't believe he's spooky, and I think that's
That's what matters.
That's what we need to take away from this.
Mm-hmm. If there was anything to take away from this, it was that one specific thing.
There ever was.
Anything to take away from this, it's LA face with that Oakland booty, to quote Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Okay. It's weird how when I typed in band, it didn't give it in my Twitch chat, but it put it in the stream chat. That's odd.
I see it in Twitch chat.
I see it in
I
Twitch
can see
chat.
it in both.
No, it's you can see it on the stream and stuff, right? As in there, but I can't see it in my version of Twitch chat,
Oh wow.
which is
okay.
weird. That is odd.
That is.
Oh well, maybe I banned Alexander.
I should just fucking just typing bands the person above you, like fucking.
Yeah. Also, good hello, everybody.
Big hello.
Yeah, that showed up for me, right?
Bigelow.
I did type in
Bam
forward slash
Bam
spacebar.
Bigelow.
Okay. Anyway, what do you remember from last time?
Fuck, what do you remember from last time?
I feel like I'm about to address the survivors of Earth as Avasarala's like aide here, Nico. That's what I'm actually quite enjoying it.
What the fuck happened last time? I actually withdrew a blank.
Right. So.
It was 86 years ago, so it's
Was
understandable.
86.
I got an email.
It
We
was
decided the glitches were the robot's fault. Well, not the robot.
wow. Wow.
I'm not robot. I understand that my language was insensitive. I will be going.
You were
undergoing
raised in
mandatory
Abalone as
training.
well.
Yeah, which is, to be fair, like the Lyco does distinguish. Lyco sees a meaningful distinction. Does Colin? That remains to be seen. But Lyco sees a meaningful
So
distinction.
the session was called Blast from the Past. Does that make anyone remember anything?
Let me open the thing.
That actually made me draw even bigger blank. I started thinking like 50 seconds ago and shit.
I started thinking about blood, and then I went like, "That's the other one."
So
Right.
there
Okay.
is-
So
yeah,
we built the. We were building the. We went over, spoke to Edgar and stuff to build the doobly-doo by giving him
the
CC's
drift
thingamawat's it.
bomb, not the
drift
doobly-doo.
bomb.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
It's going well, folks. Anything else happen?
I think it's going pretty well.
I've genuinely drawn a complete blank, man. 2 weeks ago is gone. Doesn't exist in my brain.
I can tell you lots about the session before.
Okay.
Because it was so
remember.
harrowing. But this, oh man,
We decided to leave Query with
Yes.
the unhinged lady.
Finida.
And yeah,
She's not
Finida, the
unhinged.
queen.
not dead.
Not hinged. She just doesn't. Just don't give radiation. She's like a gremlin. Don't feed her after like a
I think
Yeah, she's from Mogwai. Drow,
it's
little known fact, that film was originally going to be called Drow. Sorry.
Oh, that's their word.
Can you imagine how
color.
much grosser it would have been if they were human-sized, though, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the mechanics of Mogwai are really gross, really horrific.
Yeah.
And if it was actually people-sized entities doing, like the spitting people out of their backs thing, like that'd be
Ugh.
fucking horrifying. It'd be real body horror. As it was, people were like, oh, they're little furry things. Oh, now they're slimy. That was a bit of a derail, and I apologise. Yeah, so the AI was weird, but that was all our resident
Yeah.
philosopher's fault.
yeah. Fun went wacky. I remember that. Right. That's came to my brain. Right.
I asked some questions about the Breervath of our resident Breervath,
Uh-huh.
aka Edgar.
Yeah, Edgar spoke a bit about the histories of the Breervath. Anything else?
Where's the blast for the past bit coming from, boys? I don't get. I'm not. It's,
See the part where he's worked on a bomb for drift space?
oh, right.
Oh yeah, there was that too. That's what we
Oh,
had.
Why is it from the past?
Because it was to find somebody who's lost from before.
Don't get it. Why did I
Blast
hear
from the past sounds better than just set off bomb go.
Blast from the past.
One of my poorer titles, I'm
Wow.
I mean, I think it was Alex that suggested that one? I'm unsure.
Sorry, Alex.
Hold on. What I'm going to do is scroll up and look at my session name suggestions.
The thunder from
Clearly,
down
that'll
under would
give
work.
us-
Apparently it was
A
me that had
better idea.
retyped Blast from the Past, so fuck you, Nico.
Oh.
Alright, I'm sorry. Clearly,
I also
one-
suggested bombs
Oh, I
away,
did. I had
Bon
Where's the
Voyage.
Kaboom.
They had De Bomb and Fin sur le Bomb from Zig,
Uh-huh.
and that was it.
Where's the Kaboom?
Where's the
Which
Kaboom?
I think
Yep,
was
you
good.
said it, yeah. And the day the drift stood still. Don't be a stranger, as well, because a lot of the talk was the stranger.
I posted an Obunaga meme for some reason. I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
so nothing else? Nope, that's everything. That's all we got. Yep, all good. Caught up.
I feel like something really
That's
important
fair.
happened at the end, and it's
Yeah, we set off the bomb.
Zig pushed the button.
I did push the button. That's right.
Yeah. Edgar made the button.
Oh, and
into
then
Oh,
we,
yeah,
did we
goodbye,
just end
Drift
it with
Space.
nothing.
We ended drift space. That's right. I forgot we ended drift
Rest
space
in peace.
in the last settings. I remember now. It's all coming back to me. We destroyed drift.
So, yeah, I think everybody made their new characters,
No.
yeah. For this week, no.
No,
Okay. Well, we're only 70 minutes in. That isn't too bad
that's
for us.
impossible.
Okay.
Great. This is what I look for.
Okay. So, yeah. On that note, then, let's look at goals.
Yes. Hack Double Guess's personal files.
Yeah.
Or get Double Guess's personal files, which is probably actually going to be the case because, I mean, Zora and hacking just don't go.
Yeah.
Unless
How
it's with an
about
axe.
get the money right?
No, see, if he just so happens to, like, leave his computer unlocked and I just press, like, the download button, is that technically hacking?
Why do
Like-
you think I changed the word in the brackets to get?
It's social engineering hacking. Like if you could ask him, like, oh, what War Street on Versus 2 did you grow up on?
Surely they called trenches, Colin.
Oh, yeah, trenches are-
Wall Street.
what trench did you grow up on? Yeah. Oh dear. Or versus. Sorry,
Yeah.
the Vescarium, even not versus the Viscarium. Also, just per versus, I guess, in general.
I mean, it's got to go half and half, split apart this whole time, versus the one that's like half, half.
Aye. Mhm.
Right, aye, cool. Right, so I'm on par. Good.
Yep.
I'm in
See?
universe.
We blast from the past there, Nikoi? We blast
Yeah, yeah,
from the
blast from the past. Yeah.
Okay, so, Lyko, your goal?
My goal, yes, was clarify the Shaco situation with Dr. Eddie Vedder, Dr. Halen, and or with Babak. Eddie Vedder from Van Halen, am I getting confused? Zeg, you know this.
Sorry.
Hmm?
Eddie Vedder. No? Okay. Anyway,
No.
my joke didn't work for
it's,
Zeg, so I don't think it worked
sorry.
at all.
So, Weird, what was your goal? Yep, thanks. Zig, your goal?
My goal was to deliver the solar egg to the solar monastery elsewhere. Here.
Wow, Eddie Vedder looks like a cucumber patch that got like buffish.
I'm gonna need to check that.
Cucumber patch, like but buffer.
Pearl Jam. How did I get Pearl? Right. Who am I confusing Eddie Vedder with?
Dave Lee Roth
Why have I confused
is the
them?
singer from
That's bizarre.
Halen.
Sake, explain to me why I've made this mistake.
I think because Dave Lee Roth sounds nothing like Vedder.
Checks out.
And that's it. And Eddie Van Halen's the guitarist, so maybe there's an Eddie there, you know?
There you go. I've obviously just went there are two Eddies, one of them's gotta be one of them, bish bash bosh, and didn't quite work out.
That's exactly how it must have went down.
I
General
knew
goals.
Callum would
What are the
understand.
general goals?
Goals of general: deliver Edgar to Triaxis, discover what happened to CC, conclude the Kivillari case. Speak the Demogesh name as well. I was about to say.
Speak the Dugamogesh name!
Speak with Demogesh, yeah.
Demogesh
On
Adventure.
situation on Octal. Again, just Webble info. Speak the Demogesh name.
It's good, isn't it? Speak the Dugamogesh name!
I don't know why that
Let's
popped into my head,
Go
but
into
sure.
Monday. So, speak the Dugamogesh name. There we
The
go.
AV Pop Annihilator. Is that
Mhm.
all complete?
Ridiculous. Right, sure. Those are goals. So, this session. It feels like a session already. Also, guys, 94. That's something.
That's not nothing.
Yeah. Oh, that's a loud whoop.
94 somethings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At least.
When you think that that's about, say, 3 to 4 hours a session, it's a scary number of hours we have of Starfinder. Right.
So what, 400 or 500 years? So
It's,
probably give or take,
Mm.
probably like 350 or something. 350, 400.
I think it's probably about 350 in that mark, but that's still not bad.
My
So-
hairline shows it.
My hair color shows it, I think. So I started this
I
as a
almost
young
grew a
redhead.
beard. That's a lie. I can't grow a beard.
Imagine you hadn't shaved the entire time of the game. Can you imagine?
I haven't.
Fair,
I've
actually.
like
Yep.
trimmed. I've like trimmed. Does
Mhm.
that count as
Yeah.
shaving?
Yeah. Yep. Oh dear.
I'll shave.
Anyway, so trying to open up after the boom, I guess. That's where we'll open, and I think the entire ship is going to be violently shaken. So can people give me reflex saves? And Lyko, you're probably going to get volleyed out of bed So
Okay.
yeah, it's not ideal
Reflex.
because you were sleeping, from what I remember.
Was I? Okay. I'll go with that. I can't recall. I thought I might have got
Well,
up for this.
the
but I don't
captain
even know if
said,
it was-
"Do you want to press the button?" He goes, "I can't. I'm in bed." So
Oh yeah, you're right. I think I
Mhm.
did.
Mhm.
How's that? How's a 27?
it's all right. Yeah, the bed probably helps. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna fail because it's reflex. So
Yeah.
Captain just tips over sideways instantly.
It's not great on the bridge. It seems from the violent shaking. Can you guys take 3d6 damage? And I'll let you roll them individually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
And when you see you
Ah,
guys,
I win.
No, you passed your test.
yeah. So just clarify.
It was worth
Damage.
clarifying.
hit points or stamina. I'm guessing.
87.
No, stamina. Oh yeah, I'll hit stamina first.
Cool.
Yeah. Just get like bashed about, right? This isn't like, straight to health damage.
Mhm.
Which not that many things in the system do, which is kind of nice. I do like that stamina does
It is-
generally help.
yeah.
hmm It would be nice if other systems, like, see if your health totals were lower. Like, say, for example, let's just talk about D&D again. See if D&D's health was like quite low. Like, say your con mod was your health at all times, but your stamina is what changed for your class, and it works in a similar fashion to this. I think that'd be a more interesting mechanic, because then you could balance things like your short rest and stuff around the stamina side of things and not the health, which is actually damage to you. But who am I? I'm not a system designer. Anyway, so yeah, the bridge gets volleyed about. The whole ship gets volleyed about. Yeah, no, right. The whole ship gets volleyed about, and alarms are going off. We've obviously got random bits of concrete falling from the ceiling for no reason. The effects budget was obviously pushed to the limits here. There's sparks coming from consoles. Alarms blaring. So, Lyko, you're definitely awake. What's the plan,
Yeah.
Lyko?
Instantly hitting the comms button.
Which
Captain,
the
what the
comms
hell?
are still off, I think.
What's still off? Sorry.
The comms.
Comms.
Comms are still off. Right, cool. Right,
That being the case, I would then, after realizing it didn't work, shake my head to sort of wear off the last of the sleep, push myself to my feet, and think really loudly, "What the hell?"
Okay. That's telepathy for everybody else concerned.
Yes.
So who's
What
replying
about the
to him?
power to move you?
Nope. No reply.
No
I
responding.
Wow.
think Zig would say, damn. Did it work?
Judging by it would point to like the lump when you see yeah,
It did something.
definitely went boom.
Mm.
And
You say psychically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Internal.
we let off the drift bomb, Lyko. Set off the drift bomb, whatever. Yeah.
It didn't seem to blow us up. I was actually yawning, but I thought it worked for the RP.
It's fine, just wait.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you're thinking with portals.
Yeah.
Um.
One more.
Yeah. So having said that, I will sort of get up and meander through to survey.
Yeah, like the ship is still shaking. It is a meander is maybe stagger or, kind of half bolt through the ship. As the whole thing's like vibrating. You've basically been like, well, you set off a massive bomb while in drift space. So you're basically coasting through drift space as the ship's being volleyed around. It's not great. Alice is clutching onto a console and holding her stomach as if about to heave. Edgar's braced themselves in like a doorway arch. Yeah. Ivan's somewhere in the ship. Nobody knows where.
Can we'd sort of just check the like the ship is actually okay?
How would you like to do that?
Like, are there like useful readouts on the like consoles or anything like that?
Yeah, I'd give me a computer show.
Sure, I
Nope.
can not do that.
Computers. Yeah, and like as you do that, the console just gives you sparks.
Ah, bugger.
Alarms are still blaring, and
Cool. It does look like we're still in drift space. Not
yeah, like outside still seems that weird unknowable drift colors. Yeah, that kind of blue
Cool.
hyperspacey shade.
Not like a kind of greenish purple.
Not at all.
Oh well.
Bluey. Zora, as the captain, what's the plan?
I mean,
Your ship's being volleyed through drift space again.
anyway, like emergency, get the fuck out of drift space. Is that a thing? Is there like a nope button?
I mean, you could shut down the drift drive to get out. Yeah, but
So,
probably
what's the
don't-
odds of drop boot inside a planet if I push this button?
who are you aiming that towards? That question.
The room.
I'm
at the bridge, right?
Uh-huh,
the
yeah.
bridge.
Mhm.
The bridge.
Yeah. The people that are on the bridge are obviously you, Zig, Edgar, Alice, and I think that's it. I think Weird was there, but obviously for narrative purposes, Weird is shut down. So yeah.
Out of character, I hate this plan.
Can I be in the room?
It'll take you a bit more time to get there first.
Yeah.
So I think I think Alice goes to answer and then heaves. 'Cause she mostly spends her day eating yogurts, so that's not great. And I think Edgar, kind of like bracing himself in an archway, shoots over saying, "If we drop out," as he's like trying his best not to get volleyed across the room with the inertia, we'll lose the signal.
Good. Bad. Somebody find the signal.
And yeah, and then likely you can get to the other room by this point.
And I will enter unceremoniously, almost bouncing off the wall. I think
Mhm.
because he's still a slightly unstable Lyco. And I think like you say, someone could have, knocked on the door before we did that. Well, the ship's intact, I think. That's nice. What's our situation? We need to find CC. What are we doing?
Sora's nodded at all of this because he doesn't know what's going on.
We're following what I assume is CC signal through drift, and we've locked onto it with the bomb. Somehow, looking at Edgar, kind of.
Edgar's just
have I got this right?
looking at Zig as he's saying all this, and then when Lyko, I guess if you turn to Edgar to see his reaction, he just looks at you and just like shakes his head as if no.
It's a triangulation thing, right? That's what we're doing.
Edgar like slides his way Ace Ventura style along the wall, and gets closer to the group of you, and says, "Like sonar," and just kind of leaves that explanation.
Zora totally gets that.
He just nods. He goes,
Yeah, like sonar.
I know, but we need someone to actually look for the signal now, because we're kind of just spinning.
We
Can
should
Zig just
stop
run
the
to
spinning.
The chair,
Yeah.
as it were,
You can.
and just like try and get the ship to like not be spinning.
Yeah, it'll be a
and
difficult piloting
see
check,
what
but you
the
can give it a
nav
go. Yeah,
computer says.
you're a good pilot.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll give it a bash.
You're a very good
Damn
pilot.
right, I'm a good pilot.
And maybe I could assist.
Well-
Oh no, you don't need assistance. good. You Gucci.
It's this
Yeah,
by
but he
Disney.
needs fully assistance. That's it's hard. I don't know what hard is though.
No, like the see, like in D&D where things are like a 10, a 15, and a 20, and then a 25 and 30. 30 basically means it should be impossible, or nigh impossible. I think a 30 is, whereas a 10's like a basic level bit challenge. Like that in this system now is like 25 because the difficulties slide up with your levels.
Yeah.
So 25's like a 10 now.
Okay.
If you can understand that maths. Yeah. So a 39's pretty damn good in that regard. Yeah, because it would have been about like a 20, a 25, or a 30 would have been like really
Right.
challenging. So Zig's done very well to try and get a grip of the ship to start volleying around. So I think by this point, as the ship kind of like becomes a bit more stable, still probably cascading through drift space, but at least it's no longer, being spun around various axes. So I think Alice like pops her head up from like behind a console she's clearly heaved behind. And then just kind of like sits with her back against the kind of the side of maybe where Zig is sat. She just like pats your leg reassuringly. Doesn't say anything other than just making vague moaning noises as she's clearly had a rough moment. Edgar walks up to one of the consoles and says, "Can someone unlock this so I can begin the scans?"
Yeah, I'll go up and press the buttons. The buttons.
Yeah. So he sits and taps away, and then he brings up like a holographic map in the middle. That is just, essentially just like kind of where the ship is in the center of the map, and then just your concentric lines coming out from it, with the various axes, and multiple ping signatures like blinking in and out, from like different angles. And he goes, "Good. I think it worked. But we'll need some time to go through this data. Do you want me to work here, or is it best somewhere else?" As he turns to everybody else on the bridge, mostly looking between Lyko and the captain.
Shrug whatever gets done fastest.
He nods. Okay.
Can I make myself useful here?
There he goes. You can help with the search if you want. And he points to the other console.
I sort of wander over.
Yeah, so it's just like
look
see, like,
blankly at it for a second.
it'd pretty much be where like Alice had been working before, remember, when she was like doing our decoding. Pretty much just the other side of the bridge. So he's looking at the right side, you might be at the left side of where like Zig sat in the middle. And it's essentially a computer check to try and like pour through all the signal data.
Cool. Let me computers it up.
No problem.
Not gonna be
Remember, the ship
it's
can
not-
help people though, right? Remember, it does have that ability to help people.
Yeah.
Remember, it does have.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's
That's right. Let's go stats.
Yeah. So you can let me know what that final number is once you've looked at the ship's stats. Because I think it can help. Is it 2 or 3 checks a turn, essentially, like a round? I think it can
It's
do.
2 checks, I
Plus
think.
3 to any 2 checks per round, plus 2 computers, minus 1 pilot, and
Because it's a big ship, so it's hard to maneuver.
Yeah.
so you get plus 3 and a plus 2 to computers as well. So plus 5 to that check, I think. I don't know if they stack. I'm assuming they do.
How
Probably.
does that work?
It probably is because it's like base stats from the ship, right? So
Yeah.
you could get
Still
the
only bringing it up to 23 then?
Yeah, so it is just a case of you're working with kind of too much data, I guess, at the moment. So it just means that it's going to take a lot more time. But that's fine. That's pretty much what you have committed to, right? You basically have you were meant to have about 2 hours worth of drift left before dropping out to Triaxis, remember? So these are pretty much, to be honest, who even knows where you are currently in drift space? You only need to drop out and get your bearings and then replot a jump. To be honest, these are kind of adrift again in drift space. Just with a new ship, so at least these are trying out all the ships this way in drift.
Well, we don't have fucking SK this time to like turn our shit into a crystal drive,
Yeah.
so that's good.
No,
Like,
because guess who has that? The person who took that's the reason you're here is because you're looking for that crystal drive that's been crammed into a mech.
Actually.
Yeah. Mhm.
True.
Yeah,
Mhm.
some sort of crystal
That's
mech
Yeah.
bastard. Um,
Crystal mechs, folks. Even once.
yeah,
The crystal
dear.
it's
Oh,
really it is. However, it really is an issue that crystal mechs hold longer sentences than a lot of other forms of mechs. Which really is just a disparity that isn't actually justified by the danger inherent in the mechs.
This is why Lyco failed his computer's check. So yeah, so even with like using the computer to assist and whatnot, it's just not a case. Also, to kind of answer your question about there, Colin, the +2 is the computer quality, right, of the ship is the
Okay.
+2, and then the fact that the ship has got tech of a certain quality, it can then assist with that +3 to 2 different checks. Is how that works. So it just means that if it's assisting with piloting, it's already at a -1 because the ship's a big boy. So it doesn't
Fair.
handle that well. You'll see a lot more of that in the Star Wars system. Like most ships have bad handling in the Star Wars system. They're usually like minuses, because they're big and clunky things. They work against the pilots, unless it's like really bitchin' fighters. But yeah, so yeah, I think you and Edgar can go to town on that. Zig, I assume you just try and keep the ship as steady as
Yeah,
possible. But like ultimately, the ship doesn't really have a direction to go in other than just in drift, quite frankly. So you're kind of free
Yeah, I
until they
think
both
just-
get you a heading, right?
Yeah, I think he's just going to kind of stand by, make sure that the ship isn't going to do anything wonky, because who knows what we've just done.
Yeah.
Really, So yeah, he'll just stay put in case anything unexpected happens, and you can try and
Yeah.
not have the ship crash into nothing. Side drift.
That's fair. I would say it's very fair. Captain, what's the plan?
Stand stoically.
Okay.
That's
That is
all I
a
can
captainly thing to do.
I spelled your name wrong.
He stands with a captainly bearing.
Yes, exactly.
The gifts have done very well for this session so far. I'm just saying. Thoroughly enjoying them.
I've never enjoyed anything.
That sounds like you, to be fair, Colin.
But nah, to be fair, I actually can't really think anything I could do useful right now. So I will just stand stoically.
Okay, but you're gonna. What I mean by this is like there's gonna be a lot of time that Edgar and Lyko are gonna have to pour through this information to try and get a
I'm
heading.
probably just going to be like that, like Muller, little Slowster child.
Mhm.
Like, and just.
Pacing up and down on the bridge.
Yeah.
What, like scream and cry vomit?
Yeah, sure.
Just put
But
fairy lights
they're just-
around the house. Just start decorating the bridge with fairy lights. Yeah.
Probably not saying anything because it probably doesn't have the strategies, but you can definitely feel me looking at your shoulder every like 5 minutes and shit.
Yep. So yeah. Okay. You. MD, anything that you specifically want to do while this is going to take a lot of time? Because I know obviously Lyco's going to be pretty stuck doing this as well, but anything else that's coming up? Because obviously keep in mind Alice is also here. She kind of has nothing to do. So.
As the
Good.
first officer, I think she should be delegated to by the captain.
First of the officers.
First among officers.
What can Alice do in this situation as well? I
Okay.
mean,
That's great. Fix Finn if you wanted, or anything else. Like go check on the rest of the ship. The thing has just kind of exploded half of the systems on the bridge. So
Alice, do I like check see there's like no like lasting damage on the ship? Wait.
there's just a thumb that comes up from the side of the console Zigzon. And then eventually she emerges. Goes, okay, Captain. And she
Also,
goes,
probably go. Pretty sure there's some anti-sickness stuff somewhere, probably. It's
Don't
a
worry.
boat, right?
Don't worry, I took them all before we pushed the button. No,
Oh.
it's- no,
That's
just-
probably why
Turns
you
out
were.
why you're sick.
That's probably why you're sick.
And she goes,
um,
that doesn't make any sense, Captain. And then she just like
Wait,
slowly like shuffles towards the door out. Just shuffles towards the door and leaves.
Somebody probably tell her about doses and yeah.
Yeah, and I think she'll go off with obviously Weird, right? And they'll both go and do like a once over around the ship, essentially, in the narrative, to make sure that the back end of the ship hasn't fell off and stuff like that.
That
So
would be nice.
yeah. So they can go off into the narrative, and obviously I imagine you'll have some kind of system of checking in because to check in with Alice, you'll probably need to silently check in with Weird, who narratively will just help be a walkie-talkie for her, I guess, in this particular scenario, since the comms of the ship are down. So yeah, okay. If there's nothing else for folks to do, we'll just skip time and get some more checks from
Keep
Lyco
doing
and
it until we do it.
yeah, it's just to see how quick it goes, right?
Do you want another computers?
I do indeed, yes. Right.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah,
It hit the mark.
it did indeed, and obviously that has got like a +5 to it, right? So
30.
it's pretty good, buddy. Pretty good.
It moderately exceeded the mark.
So like, Edgar comes over to like your station after like about an hour, and he starts like essentially like helping and pointing out and nodding at the stuff that you're dismissing data wise, as if approving of why you've chosen to dismiss certain data chunks. And then as we kind of get to the same part, you both hit on the exact same thing where you both point at the same dot on the screen at the same time, and then that's excellent, and then he swipes that over to Zig's console. Zig, do you want to plot the course,
Oh,
please?
brilliant.
Yes.
Good job. And bloop, blap, bleep, blap, bleep. I assume you want
do.
pilots.
Please.
Nope.
Bleep, 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 blop, blop. Woohoo! Look at that. Look at that.
Bleep, blap, bleep.
That's some good paladin.
And some good bleep bloops.
You can actually hit a 45, that's disgusting.
Is it a 45 plus 3 minus 1?
You rolled a 16 there, so we can get technically +4.
Oh, I thought you just meant because of the absolute.
I just mean just naturally, you can just roll
Yeah.
naturally 5. That's disgusting.
Yeah. It is kind of disgusting, quite frankly. Yeah.
The perks
But
of being Yosoki.
And also just an actual pilot now by training, like in Focus. Like you have put a lot into pilot.
I mean, yeah, I did
Yeah.
start leveling pilot once
Yeah.
I realized I was good at piloting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I-
That might be a factor.
I like the idea that leveling for
I'm
the
a better
Ahsoki at
pilot
pilots.
than I am Mystic.
But I like the idea that the reason that you're a better pilot is because it's just you put more books on the chair to sit on, and that just makes you a better pilot, so you can see over the bonnet more.
Yeah.
You know, because you're so small.
He was elected to lead. Not to,
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a good line though. I did enjoy that in the Simpsons
great
movie.
Lead, not to lead.
It's fantastic.
Um,
So yeah, you get the heading, you plot it in, and yeah, the ship makes its way through drift towards hopefully CC. So
Fantastic. I think Zig just sort of sighs and
wait.
Like,
Hopefully, CC, he said. Let's not get
Yeah.
too hasty.
I mean, keep in mind you just set a bomb off in drift space and followed whatever center return signal. It's not exactly definitive science here. You are trusting a Breer-Vath's bomb techniques. So
that's a good
title.
title there.
It really is.
Beer basketball.
oh dear. So
Yeah, and if the ship's happy to kind of just follow that course itself, Zig we'll go grab a drink and then head back
yeah, you can just
to
set
the-
the ship to do it, yeah, and
to the
then
console.
Mhm.
What's he grabbing a drink of?
Something hydrating.
okay.
I think I shout over my shoulder. Coffee, please. You know what? I
Anyone
don't know
else?
that you're going for. In fact, before we do that, I want to roll. Okay, I think I do know that you're going for drinks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did shout coffee, please.
Zig's like anyone else?
2 coffees. That's that
3.
Three coffees and an isotonic drink.
Yeah.
Um,
So you can head down to the
Yep,
mess hall
and
if you
you
want.
know,
Yeah.
he does his he does that,
Mhm.
picks everyone up a nice little
Excuse me.
beverage.
Why,
Nice.
thank you.
Yeah, MDL's got anything else on to do? Because it'll probably take a while to get through the drift space as well, so there is still some more space to do things in, if need to be.
I imagine him still sort of involved with the navigation, but
To be fair, no, not really. Like, your
No.
job was pretty much just to get a clear heading on the kind of sensor data that was coming back. It was just filtering through the noise, essentially. Once you've happily selected the heading, that's what Zig did. He popped it into the computer and then told the computer, take
Sure.
the ship this way. So until it gets there, that's it.
yeah,
Right.
well, that'd
Kinda
be
free.
the case.
It'll obviously take
Ah.
Alice and Weird a long time to go over the whole ship, as you can imagine.
So, I guess I'll
Hmm.
maybe I'll at least discuss my goal, because why not? I'll do it. Because I don't know how I'm going to fucking get personal files.
Yeah.
So, I would just open this up to the room. I'll probably wait for Zig to get back.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, Zig can be back with the drinks, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably open up to the
coffee,
room. So,
coffee,
Thank
coffee.
you.
when we get to try access, I'm probably going to go speak to Demigash. Hopefully to fleece him for some information, but I highly doubt he's going to gaze it in concrete in words. So I'm thinking, is there any way that we could, like, I don't know, get into his computer, get into a filing cabinet, you know?
Is he likely to keep information in cabinets?
No. Him a praise, god damn it, like.
Is he
Go have
likely to
filing
keep, like,
cabinets and fucking the Pat world.
any
It's actually a Vesk only
information on
creation.
him?
Sorry what you said, Nils, I was too busy
I was
laughing.
just saying, is he likely to keep any information on his person?
Seems like the sort of pompous idiot that would like to document his own, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Edgar looks up and goes, Glory?
Snaps his fingers and points.
You think he probably keeps track of his everyday life, or
Not his everyday life, but perhaps we can find something of what his agenda is.
well, we may
He should be
have.
pretty lax around me. He seems like he's got me in the, he thinks he's got me in the bag.
Yeah, how true is
Um,
that? Edgar says over his coffee and then takes a big quick sip of it.
Not at all. No hesitation. Says like not at all.
Edgar
Question,
just
though,
says,
Captain, is how guarded would you be around him? Like, how certain are you that he won't know what you're doing?
He's too proud to have guards around him with me. He
I don't mean
probably thinks he
literally.
could-
No, I get to see that. I mean, do you think he'll be you think he thinks he has you under thumb, but surely if you are famed war hero and you're also now promoted to the position arguably directly underneath him, wouldn't you be a natural rival in a lot of ways?
Had ways, yes.
'Cause if
I'm
he
not.
sees it that way, then he might be cautious. He might think that you're looking for a way to get information in him to put yourself ahead. So yeah, this is I don't think this is going to be an easy job.
I didn't expect it to be. That's why I don't really expect him to give us anything Well, personally. But I don't really know how we personally can get a hold of these files.
Weird might be able to achieve something through a more indirect approach, going in through the systems without having to really involve him. Obviously, there are always risks of detection, but
Edgar chimes into that and goes, I doubt any sensitive information would be kept on the networked systems. So that would mean you'd have to send Weird into the belly of the beast, as it were. He tips his coffee up to that and then takes a sip of it again.
quite possibly. It depends exactly what kind of information it is we're looking for. Captain, you said his agenda. Do we mean specifically with regards to Triaxis and all this, or just more broadly?
Two things, one. Sorry.
The captain goes off and has a wee think about that. Mm-hmm.
Some
As it kind of scratches his chin.
Mm-hmm. I think Edgar
I'm
just
thinking
leans back and just takes a big sip of his coffee and goes, "This is surprisingly good."
I've had a lot of practice. I assume you mean the coffee and not Captain's, file stealing dilemma.
He looks like at you, confused for a second, and just goes, "Yeah, the coffee." Yeah, and just gives you a weird look, and then takes another sip of it. Mm-hmm.
I think Lyko sort of considers the coffee for a second, which he probably hasn't done before. Like, actually looks at it, sort of takes a big sip, and sort of savors it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Thinks, yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Thank you. And then he just downs the rest,
Mm-hmm.
sort of automatically, and sets it down somewhere.
But Zora probably downs the coffee and one as soon as he got on it, to be honest, because there's ellipse. Can't sip it. Just down the hatch, man.
Yep.
Makes sense.
The complications of being like a lizard is, I always think of it.
But yeah, you were asking like what sort of information we're trying. Like I did kinda hear the question.
Yeah, Captain. Like, is it specific to the current mission on Triaxis?
Specific to his mission Triaxis, kinda everything. I kinda want to know like why he's here in general. Why I know he's like end game.
That's sort of what I was wondering about. If you're looking for information that broad, not only is there a good chance it won't be on any what was his term? Edgar just
Networked.
used. Networked systems, thank you. There's a good chance it won't be on any systems at all. That sort of higher scope stuff typically would either not need to be stated or would be sort of stated on a one-to-one basis, right? I'm thinking about how it would work in the stewards. They would want to minimize anything that could be identified as showing a specific goal. That's not to say that you won't find anything showing an objective, but I suspect you're not going to find his 3-point plan for capturing the packed roads.
So, like, I think I wish Edgar knew about Thanaida's methods because he would 100% recommend why not use the walking lobotomizer. Like,
I mean, that would totally be a doubt for that. Like,
but Edgar doesn't know that really. He knows very little about Thanaida, to be fair. So
I mean,
I actually don't have an
maybe
NPC here that knows this, so you're on your own.
We call her the lobotomizer.
the thought probably would have crossed Zora's mind, but like I don't think he would ever be in a position to let it for it to happen, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think we want to blatantly lobotomize demolition like
I
public.
like that your objections are purely practical.
100%. 100%.
This every
I think
time this
even
comes
Zig,
up, he is like all aboard for it. If only we could.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think even Zig would abandon any moral code for that. That's
Good to know on the scale of.
What is this about? You don't run evil parties, right?
I know, right? Fucking hell, guys.
I'm a vex, man. Like,
no, Demogesh is a bad dude.
like,
Here's the thing: in this case, Lyko would absolutely do it without a second thought. But it's the fact that so would everyone else that's giving me some qualms.
It's the wait a minute. If everybody agrees with me, that must mean I'm wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wait,
love
hold
that.
on now.
It can't be
Results
the
are
edgy one if
results.
everybody agrees with me. It's good.
It's like, think about it as like Wolverine, right? Wolverine will always come up with the solution specifically of murder. Like there's an infant that has powers, we'll murder it, right? But Wolverine wouldn't necessarily want like the impressionable 15-year-olds he hangs out with to come to that conclusion all the time. It's like, yeah, it's one thing if I think like that. I don't want the other people having to be
For me, it was the same as the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe this game has carried as well, which is that, wait, everybody thinks this is a good plan? This must be a bad plan then. You know, that immediate kind of... None of them are meant to agree with each other by design. So if they ever did, you'd be worried.
It's like when whenever I'm gonna bring it to a frame of reference that people expect from me. Whenever like Giles finds himself agreeing with Xander.
Yep.
What did you expect?
I jumped the gun a bit earlier with Avril and second Avril as well. But
Yeah, because I only tangentially referenced
yeah,
that.
but it was kind of referenced, so I did enjoy that. Anyway, back in this game. So, back in the subject of lobotomizing Demogesh, even though Edgar never mentioned that. So back in that moment, like, what are we wanting the files for? How do we plan on getting the files? What's the end goal to this? Because either way, you've got a meeting on the books, right? Either way, you have a meeting on the books with Demogesh.
He also had the fascination with going and taking on Argalas. Don't know why. Also piques my interest.
Does he think? Does he have a method of defeating Urgalas, or?
And also what I want to find out. I mean, it's probably just hubris.
Or I would also suggest we know one pretty important thing about what Urgalis' goals are.
Edgar turns
right?
to the group and goes, "Oh," sets his coffee cup down and folds his arms.
Wiping out what has become of his former civilization. Destroying the Bone Sages and their necromantic society.
I'm unsure it's wiping out as opposed to just it never having happened.
That might be his long-term goal, sure. But let's think not in terms of what he says he wants to do. What has he done?
Wiped out 90% of the Bone Sages.
So, I'm a firm believer that, generally speaking, what people actually do is a better guide to what they're going to do in future than what they say they would.
Edgar clears his throat and just goes, circumstantial, Bill. And then
Of course.
says, I mean, nobody specifically sets out to destroy people in their way, specifically. But people that get in their way, and he shrugs, collateral. I don't imagine the Bone Sages were happy to just say, here's the keys, enjoy.
No, but again, his purpose was inherently at cross purposes with the existence of the Bone Sages. Either way, they had to go for him. And I think, again, I am very much coming from a place of very limited knowledge, but I think that your commander, I'm addressing this to captain, of course, sees a tactical advantage here.
Boss. But
Your boss, right?
Yeah.
He's got an opportunity to play the Bone Sages off against a rival power and vice versa. Maybe he thinks he can deal with Urglass. Maybe he thinks there's a chance Urglass fails and he doesn't have to worry about them. But whatever the case, he in the short term has something to gain from Urglass succeeding in that he doesn't really want the Bone Sages to be strong. He just doesn't want them uniting the Pact World.
my initial thought was Argalas just wanted the Bone Sages and Argalas to kill themselves, but I don't think he's stupid enough to think that the remaining Bone Sages could.
No, your boss is a shrewd enough commander that there's no way he imagined that a handful are going to do what hundreds couldn't.
And he's not stupid enough to think that where 90 Bone Sages failed, he could succeed.
Unless he has something very strong indicating to the contrary, I would assume not. But what he might assume is that he can just let it play out and not worry about it. I don't know what he expects to come of that, or if he really understands all this stuff about fixing whatever exactly he was conveying to Zig. He clearly thinks he can undo this in some sort of more literal sense. Right? So does Demogesh understand that the threat Urglass poses is more than just a direct physical one? Maybe if he did,
Probably not.
well, exactly, then maybe test the waters in that, find out if he realizes the threat that Urglass poses to the timeline, and then I don't know how safely you can just inform him without raising pretty substantial questions.
I mean, telling Demogesh what we know doesn't change things. It might even make him trust me more.
Is that a bad thing? Edgar says.
I'd shake my head.
My reservation is that it gives us a better sense of what certain members of our group may be capable of. Right now, I'm not convinced he realizes just how far Zig's abilities extend.
Do we?
Not a strokes.
No, I don't think we do. But
I think Zig kind of like thinks there a little bit. Like the kind of I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I
Fine.
think I spoil. We know that he wanted to speak to you specifically. Could have spoke to you, Anthonida, he chose to take her out the picture temporarily. He was focused on you, and you doing what you had to do to get out of the situation. You played into that.
Edgar just rubs his throat absent-mindedly at the mention of Tanida.
So, we can be pretty confident that he had reason to believe. He didn't just take your word for it. Right? This guy doesn't seem like an idiot, and he does seem like an enormously powerful psychic. So, Urglass clearly sees quite a lot of potential in you that he believes your shtick,
Hmm.
which do we want the Vogesh to be aware of that? I don't know. It's entirely possible that the Vogesh may simply see that as another thing that makes the captain here a valuable asset. Look at my brilliant strategy. It's brought the captain over from my rival, and now he works with me, and blah blah blah. And oh, look, his allies are also useful. You know, it could be that. It could be that.
I think Edgar
But-
then like leans on the console, like flips up like a flap of a button and flicks it down and flips something. What makes you think he doesn't already know this? Because he's just playing with a bit of the console.
The thought has occurred to me.
This is a Vesk ship after all, is it not? And he looks at Zora.
Not.
I
The
Mogesh
button
do-
he's flicking like notable in any way, or is it just like?
No, he's just kind of indicating the ship, right? He was mostly just
Okay,
trying to
okay.
subtly be like, this is a Vesk ship, and you're talking about the guy who's in charge of the vet, blah 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 blah, right? He's basically saying, you know, it'd be like somebody like spinning a coin and saying, you know, let's flip for it. And then he looks at you, Zora, and he goes, was it the Mogesh that gave you use of the ship?
No. Matva.
Oh, excellent. So the intelligence division.
He would snigger. I
and
know.
also significantly
I know.
arrived to the Mogesh.
It was my first thought when I go to the ship. We just got it fixed recently.
He looks around and kind of like rubs the back of his head and goes, yeah, sorry about that. As the place has got like sparks still coming out of certain places. Yeah.
Well, I think we got it fixed recently. Yeah. But
It's still in one piece, so that's a thumbs up in my book, quite frankly.
I was going to suggest that the fact that we're in drift at the moment might mean, well, it might mean that we were more protected from snooping. But as we've recently come to learn,
Edgar leans in. Yes.
that was an indication to the captain about
Mhm.
the little phone call you got.
Mhm.
Still not coming to me. I mean, about the drift
You were
thingamajiggies.
contacted in drift, weren't you?
Oh yeah, right, yeah, but the what, drift relays or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
they're called. Yeah. Right. Yeah, they have. Seems like Vesk are setting up some sort of drift relay communication system thing. I don't know the specifics. I don't do fucking science.
I think Edgar just nods as if like thinking about that quite a bit. Just taking it in. Saying, well, it would make things easier, I suppose, if we had some kind of a way to quantify drift. You know, besides setting a bomb off every time. It kind of gives an awkward smile.
Look at the sparks and see.
Yeah.
They seem very economical.
He nods. And then well, it seems like you have a lot to talk about, and I don't know. I appreciate the candid attitude with my presence. That's all, you know, all for one. as that old book said. But I'm gonna go sit and pour through the sensor data out of your shop, and he winks at everybody, and then just like heads over to the other side of the bridge. Essentially, deliberately indicating you're now allowed to talk amongst yourselves.
Man,
Feel
that
less
guy's the
weird if you didn't
worst.
feel the need to say that.
Yes, man. Fucking beer vafs, man.
I think we all know Zig doesn't say that, but
Yeah, I mean, Zora probably does, but I need heed.
Yeah, but then everybody can hear it, right? Oh dear.
I think if you do actually think that, Lyco thinks back. I haven't met many.
No comment.
Mm, fair. Okay. Anything else to discuss then before we move on, or is that?
Captain, I meant to ask, if we don't find, CC when we arrive at the destination, I mean, what's our course of action?
The hard hitting questions. The hard hitting ones. I don't imagine he's got too much time left. But, I mean, I don't really know personally what else we can do to get CC, so I guess we set a course for Triaxis where we try and think otherwise.
yeah.
Are we all comfortable with that?
Not really.
But considering our current solution is mystical fake science based on a hunch on how something will work.
It's got us this far.
I think we'd kind of chuckle at that.
Yeah, so I would look at the sparks.
I just say, yeah, I don't think I can come up with anything else.
Wormholes. I'm starting to realise that wormholes is like Zora's version of Crom.
Mm,
Fucking-
fair. To be honest.
Well, look, let's not assume we're not gonna. But I think we have to be. I think we have to be prepared for the possibility that this won't work
Look at
out.
you
Exactly.
being a Vesk.
No, Captain.
Realist.
I believe this is me being a cop.
Maybe we should get more cops. Yeah.
I mean,
But it's fine. We've no screwed up many plans, right?
Scratching the back of his head.
Mm. Define
deed,
all
right?
of that. Yeah, there you go. There's a basis to work from.
Like, we're not dead, right? So we've got to be doing something right in this madness that we're in. So I'm sure
It is quite impressive that we're relatively intact.
I'm sure we'll be fine. And he's a resourceful wee bastard, so I'm sure he'll be figure out something as well. If we don't, shrug.
Who knows? Maybe Scaramanders were, made to survive drift.
I believe it.
Yeah, let's. I'm not gonna work on that assumption, but who knows? I think I make like a face to the captain to suggest like it's all right. I think that. Yeah,
No, but seriously, Scaramanders off a Viscarium, blah 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 blah
like
number.
best 3, I want to say.
I think
I'm
that's
not-
right. I think it's Vesk 3.
It's Vesk. What Vesk Prime? Obviously,
Mhm.
Vesk 1 is the Vesk. I think like Vesk 6 is like the cat people or something.
I think it's Vesk 9 is the cat
Is
people.
that Vesk 9?
I think.
It's whatever one I mentioned that I want to retire on because
Would I have
9 lives
pinned
cats
this?
makes
Let's see.
sense.
That does. Oh, that upsets me.
Sadly, I never pinned it as like a thing for here, so oh well.
Viewers at home, why not chime in with your favourite worlds in the Viscarium?
Oh dear.
either way, I'm pretty sure they don't.
And why is it Vesk Prime?
Yeah.
only answers of Vesk Prime will be accepted.
All else will be purified. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most Scaramanders don't even know what the drift is. You'd shrug.
Hmm.
I get the impression that they, on a civilizational level, aren't really. Well, you have civilizations like humans with various planets and various different cultures, but big spacefaring. There's entire empires of us out there. Vesk the same. There are certain species that kind of don't have that same reach, even if they have the technology and intelligence to achieve it. Because in some cases, eh, you know, Skittermanders.
Pretty sure they don't care about reach.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that would ever occur to Skittermanders, unless someone took them into drift. I think they kind of take the world as it is, to an extent, and deal with it there. But maybe I'm wrong. Whatever the case, I don't think they're very likely to have evolved resistance to to living in the to living in the drift, unfortunately. But they are certainly interesting creatures.
I've been nodding all along with us
So
because he knows nothing about the Scaramanders and no Vest does.
we're gonna recover them, get home. That's the plan. Get home. I mean, get out, and then to Triaxis.
But nods. Zod nods. Yeah, sure. I'm Zod now.
Kneel before Zod.
Zig
I am
over
Zod.
nose.
Let me bask in the sun and I'll be with yous in a bit. When I am Zod.
Hear me roar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't have any lovely yellow suns though.
Okay. Okay.
What
So-
a yeah. I'm sorry.
On you go.
I was gonna say, what about the Emma is of course on the axis, and our guest is eager
It's pronounced Edgar, but that's fine.
to
Edgar.
meet with her. Well, is that what we're doing? Are we gonna?
I mean, I've got no qualms in blowing up a arms dealer.
Me neither. But are we sure that it's gonna take?
He's the mountains old Giro species. Ask him.
And if bone sages are afraid of it.
Oh, I did ask him, but you know what? I've met enough people in my life that I don't automatically equate extreme age with a 100% success rate.
I mean, do you feel like anything we can say would stop him doing it, even if we did think it wasn't going to work? He's pretty hell-bent on killing her.
It's unlikely we can stop him trying. No, I don't necessarily think we should either. I just want to get a sense of how do we, when that particular shit hits that particular fan, what's our strategy?
I mean, are you saying that we should help him out with this? Because he just wants us to deliver him.
Well, I'm
Getting-
not necessarily saying to help him out. I just want to know, what are we planning to do? I'm not married to one particular answer.
He just said, take him to Triaxis. Edgar!
Sure, we take him to Triaxis, but then we're gonna be in Triaxis, and so is he. And
Spins
he's
around
gonna
in the
do
seat.
that.
He goes, Captain.
Right, so you said you just want us to take you to Triaxis, right? How exactly do you plan on getting to MO?
He just grins.
That's a good question.
And he just puts his hands up in front of you, like he's a mime. He just smiles at you.
What, you? I don't get it. He turns to Lyco.
Lyko, like, very expressively shrugs.
He goes, they've not taken me off their systems. I'll just walk in.
You're sure of that?
He just gives you a big shit-eating grin.
Okay, and I don't mean any disrespect by saying this, but are you absolutely convinced it's not a trap?
Probably a trap.
He kind of looks around and is like, I appreciate the concern. It's surprisingly touching, actually.
I just wouldn't mind seeing MO dead.
He kind of nods at
It's
that.
not an unpleasant thought.
Also, I wouldn't mind being very, very visibly somewhere else when it happened.
I kind of wouldn't mind front row seats, but oh, I'm falling in my seat. That's fine.
It's fine.
Oh, I'm
Everything's
falling
worked
again!
out.
That was peachy. Okay, yeah, I think it takes a deep breath and he goes, I've lived a while, and in that time, I've learned a couple of things that are important in life. And mainly it's not being pursued by a murderous psycho bitch. And I find that if I can get rid of that murderous psycho bitch, then I'll be able to live my life freely. That, and I imagine in the chaos of losing their CEO, someone with experience would need to step in and, rein in. And he just like leans back and goes, well, you know.
Damn, it was me hope it was a suicide endeavour.
Hey, it still might be.
Good. Let's keep that on the table at least. Like, definitely shouldn't be overlooked, that part of the plan.
Captain.
I feel so bad. It's not even that bad right now. But
I think with the captain. You know what? I think what the captain meant was precisely what the captain says. But let's ignore that for a second and focus on the part where, if it doesn't work, let's allow for that possibility a second.
Ken just takes a deep
I don't know
breath
what
and
we're
goes,
doing, and I don't know what you're doing.
well, my plan is to detonate a very particular bomb. And I believe your part is to not be near it. He just
want to tell
smiles.
us how to make said particular bomb so we can like maybe try again if you fail. I mean, seems like it could be handy.
He looks
Nah.
at it and he goes, no.
Fair enough.
I mean, no, that would be a bad idea.
I think like after like a second or two of that like landing, he then says, it wouldn't work a second bomb. Needs to work first time.
Okay. And I don't expect you to actually answer this, but I see three options. First of all, the bomb has to be used by you. Second of all, the bomb will only work once and isn't replicable. Or third of all, she can only be killed like that once.
He kind of like takes a moment. He goes, yeah. I'm the catalyst. He says that with a bit of like melancholy to his voice, I guess, or malaise. Like, yeah.
So
We've already asked him what MO is and stuff, right? And he told us like where to find more info or something. That was him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, cool.
Yeah, he
cool.
said where she was from and stuff.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Right, sound. Right, so there's no point in asking him that question again, then cool.
Nah, he's already given you that.
Cool. I was just wondering if it was something we actually asked him, but it makes sense about him. He's the only fucking person who could ask about it. Like,
Makes sense to ask him.
with that in mind, are we... I have an email from MO, I believe I mentioned. He was hoping to be contacted by me. Question for me is, do I take that meeting? Is there worthwhile information I could get from her before Edgar does what he's gonna do?
it would be nice to know why she's singing about some corpse fleet. Is that the right name? Corpse fleet?
Corpse fleet, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I keep on about to say like Dread Fleet or something like that, but that's fucking Warhammer. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
One answer comes to mind for that, but it's a pretty vague answer. But why wouldn't you? If you could, why wouldn't you use them as...
why would they be used is more the thing I'm wondering.
Even dead people need guns.
Exactly.
Have you seen that Super Colossal Ultra?
Sure, but it's a bit of tech, right?
I think, as you say, goes, yeah, who do you think armed it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Who do you think cruise it? Yeah, shuffling corpses probably. But those shuffling corpses will have guns in their hands. They'll need supplies to repair.
I think Edgar mutters himself, some have guns for hands. But he mostly mutters that to himself, yeah.
Pockets aren't Aspesin.
What, sorry?
What pockets aren't Aspis in? It is Aspis in it.
Yeah,
It's Aspis.
Aspis Consortium, yeah.
Yeah.
They've they got a lot of sway, a lot of connections, and the Bones Age is, well,
They go way back,
Bones
Edgar
Age.
says.
Oh,
And he just looks and goes, I mean, they're both old. Aspis Consortium has been around for many years. Over the Bone Sages. Good for business. He just does like
sure.
the money sign with his hands. He
Goes
laughs at
along
himself and he
well
goes,
with
that old that this sign doesn't even make sense anymore. We stopped using physical currency years back.
that currency is quite useful. Harder to track. You know what? I'd like turn around to say that to somebody, just like
Mhm. Like maybe where
I'd
Alice
turn
would
to
have
Alice
been.
and say it.
Oh, she's not there, yeah. Like,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, you do turn
I'd-
to Alice and then she's not there and you go, oh, okay.
yeah, and then just sort of turn around and like look again to like maybe maybe Zeg, since he is the youngest, and just sort of offer, harder to track. Which is probably something he learned on on Avalon.
What's Zig up to?
I think Zig's kind of looking between people. Like obviously when Michael addresses him, he kind of just looks at him and just like cocks his head to one side. I don't think Zig's super aware of physical currency ever being a thing. Not that learned in that regard. So just kind of
And he is young.
yeah, and obviously gives Lyko the yeah, harder to track. Um, but yeah, no, really, he's just kind of looking between sort of Edgar and everyone else. It feels like he doesn't really have anything to kind of contribute there.
No assassination vibes for the youngling. That's pretty good. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I mean,
Eh,
and I don't think he really, has the knowledge or know-how to take down any sort of ancient unidentified
You've got the
creature.
know-how. Maybe not the knowledge, but you've definitely got the know-how, probably.
The
You've probably got
capability,
the
maybe.
do. You've
but
probably got the can-do of it.
I can do it too. Um, yeah, so I think Six just kind of like looking around the room.
Um, I think my first suggestion is we have a way out plan. We are gonna be able to be linked to you, Edgar. So there's a risk for us regardless of what happens.
He
But
raises his eyebrow.
particularly if she
Yes.
survives, obviously. So I think we have to be prepared for the possibility that we need to get out of free access quickly. But also we probably want to be in the know as soon as possible about how your bombing goes. Basically.
Yeah, I think as much as I appreciate the faith you all seem to have in my plan, I doubt she'll be focused on you. She kind of gestures to the group generally. Why would she care? And she looks around and he goes, all due respect, of course.
Well, same reason anyone would care. Surely.
He tilts his head.
The relationship between ourselves and you goes back a while. She has every reason to assume that we would know at least a little bit about what your intentions are.
Yeah. I don't
So-
think she'll make a move against the Viscarium, and he's the Viscarium currently. Points at you, obviously, Zora.
That's
That's a potential buyer should be gone against.
Exactly. They knew the warrior would get it.
But she does certainly show up at very inopportune times.
Hmm.
Almost uncoincidental.
I think Edgar shrugs and goes, it's a small universe.
Is it? I mean, actually, we run at you all the time, so
yeah, but we're only ever seeing a tiny fraction of one galaxy. I mean, like we barely even see this one system. You know.
we're at this women in 3 different planets.
Hmm.
It has been 3. Well, Absalom versus Akator.
I don't think planets really work the same for her. With her office being interdimensional, I see to
yeah.
Edgar sort of by way of like looking for confirmation.
He just looks at you and goes, well, the elevator is just efficient.
Sure. So
The office is on
the office
Traxxas.
is located specifically in one place all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she still has access, ready access to instantaneous travel between worlds.
Yeah. Where
That
the elevator
suggests a
goes.
certain degree of flexibility in her travel arrangements.
Well,
She needs.
he kind of like,
Right, I believe.
yeah, like he says like well in that kind of obviously clearly not agreeing with you like kind of way.
Oh, when I assume she's originating from her office.
Yes.
Clearly, she needs to get back to it.
Yeah. Kind of makes you wonder why I should travel on corpse fleet ships, doesn't it? He just looks at Zora like a raised eyebrows if. Oh.
Oh. I mean, nobody's going to be scanning a cop's fleet ship to find out who's on it.
Legally, they're not allowed in the system.
Legal, illegal. I mean, to stop people, really.
Are you gonna argue with a super colossal?
I would give the a hand gesture of yes. What he said.
Hear me thinking you would take that as a worthy challenge. The abyss.
I mean, that's the part world, not of Viscarium.
Oh. I was thinking too small, of course. Okay, just chuckles to himself. Hey, if you want to give me your shuttle and just drop me off in orbit, I'll take it from there if need be. I don't need any special treatment.
That was traceable. He says to himself more than to anyone else.
Could
I don't particularly get it.
Sindel,
It's traceable.
just pull us out?
Edgar shrugs, because it's not really aimed at him.
What,
Yeah, no, yeah, it was the rest of the room.
maybe turn the light on, would he?
I wouldn't want to count on it. He hasn't been known to always be the most consistent. Plus, yeah, he's having some difficulty adjusting.
What exactly is the dynamic between the two of you these days? Some kind of father-son thing going on?
I hope not.
Got a weird part. Just getting
He,
out of there.
Hmm.
well, it's complicated. It's probably the long and short of it, but he is responsible for the existence of my kind, so he is a father of sorts, and he did directly recreate me, even if he did it by rearranging the parts of another being to perfectly resemble my previous form and then transferring my consciousness into it, which is pretty horrible, and I don't like to think about it, but um,
Oh, Jack in your real body. Don't forget that part.
yep, not forgetting that, Captain. Thank you. It's complicated. He nods his head a few times.
Fair.
Suffice to say, though, he ain't exactly the man he was.
Hagar just looks around the room at that, as if nobody else seems shocked by anything that was just said there, so he just kind of nods and says,
It's just a dog.
I'm sure he's heard weirder things himself.
"Yeah,
Just
but
a
like,
bubble.
yeah, but this is like the first time he's ever met people that would be like, yeah, so why are bone sages a bit weird to you? And we know a bone sage, but he's not really a bone sage anymore. He might be my dad. It's like a
Hey,
weird
that's
day.
him that said that.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to hear, even if you are a Bringer you know. It's been, an arms dealer for a while. So, yeah, I think he just kind of says, right, well, I might have coffee, so I'm going to go get more of that. Does anyone want any?
I'll take a coffee.
Nods.
Zig will lift up like his
Yep.
bottle of whatever and just nod.
Okay, and he looks at you, Lyko.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm gonna stand in this area.
He just nods, I guess, at that, and then leaves. And heads down to the mess hall. What's everybody else up to on the bridge?
Again. Standing stoically.
Right,
I'm
Zig?
definitely gonna
Yeah.
try and have a escape plan in motion as soon as we're on the planet. We need to be able to get off.
Is it worth creating the link with Edgar? Then we cannot be here, but have instant confirmation whether or not the bomb.
That sounds good,
Work.
man.
You'd lose Sandile.
And we would probably have we've got
I
potentially
mean,
a man
Sindel
getting
could
blown
just
up.
like enter as he wants. He seems to just have that intrusive ability if he wants to.
There's also the confirmation may also mean him blowing up, and him being linked to us well being blown up might not exactly be
Yeah,
mentally pleasant. Yes.
Considering what happened with
You
weird
don't
surgery in
have
the
to be
past.
part of the link if that's going to be a problem / concern.
What happens if somebody's linked and they die? Does that mean we
If you
go
die
a
in
little
the
bit?
link, you die in real life, you know
Real
that.
life, yeah.
I imagine it'll be.
So here's the thing, right? Like, you
Lower.
know, last time you've obviously got a sharing of the pain that was it weird went through? Yeah.
It was, yeah, when you got sawed in
Yeah.
half for his new legs.
So imagine that wasn't shared. And imagine instead of it just being a surgery with like likelihood anesthetic and whatnot, it's going to be a bomb. The person using said bomb, who seems to be trying to blow up an unkillable being, using themselves as a catalyst, and it's only one person in the link with them. Just think about that.
Mm.
Yeah.
What if we just let him do that without being on it?
Lobotomy comes to mind.
Mm.
For any particular reason, or just really eager to do that?
Really wants front row seats, man. I can respect that, probably.
So yeah. What's the thoughts on that plan now?
Might not be conducive to your good mental health, Zig.
True.
Get back to 6.
What speed?
It's just that, the safest get out plan seems to be not be there
Unless it's
before
not.
we need to be. Unless it isn't.
Bear with me. I'm not just saying like the opposite of what you're saying for no reason. The null hypothesis. I'm actually thinking aloud a little here. You're thinking safest is to be far away but have instant confirmation. I understand that. What if we didn't need our arrival is going to be trackable? Yeah. Any shuttle we send, especially very obviously Vesk shuttle, is going to be trackable. You see where I'm going with this?
Makes sense.
We arrive, we are logged, we do what? He goes, assassinates one of the most powerful figures in the Pact Worlds, and, beyond as well to an extent. And we do, and he sort of dramatically raises his arms in a sort of, what? Sort of.
Hmm.
We are just there, suspiciously there, when a person that we can be tied to quite easily, that can probably be linked to our journey, assassinates or attempts to assassinate a very, very powerful person. You don't have to be a cop to work out that might point to us being involved. Unless we have a good reason to be there. And right now, I see two good reasons. One, the captain. Captain's got a meeting. We're early. Or we're gonna be, unless this business with finding CC goes off the rails, which I'm not ruling out. Ooh. We go. Captain has his meeting. Whatever. Great. Does that require all of us? Does it look fishy that we're all here? Does it look fishy that we're all twiddling our thumbs doing what while he makes a meeting? I
A
suggest.
war hero would never travel without his entourage.
That might work in people who don't know us yet. But we're talking about Aspis. We're potentially talking about the dragons who will have heard some things from Himani, regardless of how much is gone from his memory. We're talking about every major player. They all know a little bit about us. Together, they know enough to know if we're here, there's a reason for it.
I hate to think it, but you might have to
Take the meeting.
take the meeting.
It's my thinking too. which leaves us with you and Weird. Now, Weird, that's easy. Think of anything. He can make it work. It's, try reading that guy when he says he's, here to index a particular shape of tree leaf, whatever. He can sell any line because A, androids in general are harder to read, and B, that guy is something else. People know that he has had an interesting life, and the ones who know more about it than others, they would buy him having reason to go anywhere that the captain did. I don't worry about making an excuse for him. But you've been known to do your own thing. And you... How to put it? Your career path hasn't been quite as... The captain has worked in a legitimate role and now does again for what is in essence the enemy state. In between which he was effectively, well, let's call it what it is. We were smugglers. People know who the captain is. People who don't even know who the captain is know who the captain is. They see him and go, "Is it? He's that Vesk, right? The one that looks, oh yes, the war hero." People know him, even if they don't realize they know him. They see him and they go, "Oh, yeah, it's that guy." People who have any sort of, people who are in the know, they can tell you he's worked a lot of different angles his time in the Pact Worlds.
Hmm.
Me, there are a lot of people out there who know who I am. Barai aren't super common. Barai who become Barai in the line of duty, less common. As far as I know, I'm the only one recorded to have retired on account of becoming undead in the Steward history. I may be mistaken. I didn't exactly dig through the archives, but my guess is that if you were searching for undead stewards, I would be pretty much the first thing you would find if you went to the
You'd
right
be
places.
up there.
I acted as an envoy to Eox. With Eox. I acted for many years as, well, prior to joining this crew, as again, smuggler. I had acted as private investigator, bounty hunter. I may have done some other jobs that could be more firmly set in the black hat column. What I'm saying is I've worked both sides of the law from a lot of different angles. Similar thing could be said about Cap. Weird is weird. But you're... What's a nice kid like you gonna do in the company of the kind of people we're gonna be meeting, We need to get you an excuse.
Keep in mind, there is tourism on Traxxas. Right,
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah, I know. Like, I love that Zig just, like, as you're all doing your super sleuthing around, Zig's just wandering around, like, binoculars around his neck and a camera. A map.
Weren't you like a pilgrim at some point?
I mean, went on a pilgrimage, which was just his gap year, essentially.
Traxxas have any sort of religious significance?
It doesn't matter if it's no religious significance to no point to Zig. Who knows how religion works? People go on pilgrimages everywhere.
true.
I sort of. Yeah, I guess they do.
I mean,
Maybe he just wants to spread the word about his Lord and Saviour. What's your son's name again?
I'm a Siren Ray, man.
Mm-hmm. Siren Ray.
There you go. Lord and Saviour.
so
Siren Ray.
Does kind of seem like the sun is called Grace, though. So, based on what
That
you
was
have
that.
learned.
That
Yeah,
was
well,
what
I
I was
mean,
trying
but
to
like-
remember.
like-
That's
Yeah.
that was what I was trying to remember the name, but I couldn't remember Grace. So
Grace
I
in the eyes of
the
Burning
RP.
Mother.
I
Mhm.
think
Yep.
in Zig's mind, calling her Grace would be
A bit too
you know,
familiar.
Formal.
Mhm.
too informal and if you're going around places attempting to convince, well, not to convince, but to hide the fact that you're kind of not involved in the grand scheme of things. If you're going to start going around calling the sun deities Grace, people are going to ask questions.
That's fair.
Who's Grace? Well, let me tell you. Turns out, Grace had all these eggs. She is actually the true Burning Mother.
Mhm.
One
Hey,
day,
perfect.
I grow up, I will take eggs to Grace, and it's going to be great.
When are you telling this story? The way you said that.
Yeah, if you
This
just say
is
something like that, that'll
Zig
work.
as Zig as a child when Zig went back in time and told Zig a bedtime story to help him settle for some point, and then the next day Zig told the Radiant Supreme this. Yeah, it's one of those, I think.
One of those. Yeah, okay. One of those very common events that happen. Dear gods. There. Okay.
But no,
So-
yes.
Yeah, I think like was kind of just nodding along and saying yeah. If people ask what you're doing, just say something like that.
Odd.
Don't worry, I can talk for a long time about the sun.
Weirdo.
I think we can make that work. So the question, I guess, remains: what are you actually going to do while we're?
I might go look around for just some temples. And hope that whatever my plan is / was kind of comes to me.
Okay. I think we can make this work. I mean, I do agree that it is likely that it's going to look weird if I don't take the meeting. So,
Yeah, I don't like it, but I think you have to.
not agreement. When we're out of drift, I'll drop the message. Let her know to expect me.
Remember, you could use the Vesk relay network if you wanted to.
I don't trust them.
That's fair.
Yeah.
This is like. um.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think Aiko is sort of happy enough that we have some idea of how we're going to conduct our time there.
That's fair. Yeah, I think Edgar turns back up with the coffees. And he just hands out coffee to everybody, including Zig.
Oh, thank you.
I think Zig sit and just nods and sips on it slowly, like trying to look appreciative of the fact that, it was made for him.
Like, you didn't want coffee.
No,
Wow, you're a coffee boy, are you?
he does not like coffee.
He's too young. He's not got the refined taste buds of.
Definitely, like if any younger people watch this, with age, you will understand.
Coffee.
You wake up and you say, I really want something that is unpleasant and sour and a little bit too hot and that will make me jittery.
And
I'm
Lyco
kidding.
is
I love
available,
coffee.
so
Hey. But yeah, like I think when you're younger, coffee's this is so bitter. Why would a person willingly do this themselves? Which is a really fascinating thing about human beings, right? Because spicy is literally just like it's processed in your brain in a very similar way to heat. So your brain is telling you, "Don't touch this; it burns." And humans go, "I think I can put that in a pizza." Mm.
Yeah,
Pepper's
and I
pretty
can't
much like
stop. It's just too good.
pepper's pretty much like a poison, but
The
like
burn
let's fucking give me
is
some of that shit, man.
that's just human nature for you, though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think you're almost paraphrasing Rihanna there.
as opposed to Amy Winehouse.
Oh no, like just gonna stand there, you know.
Yeah. Right house in 2 fucking nights.
Mhm.
Jeez, oh.
Oh.
2
2
Amy's,
nights,
1 White House.
night. I can't speak.
God,
Speaking hard.
speaking is hard.
That's fair.
Some of
No.
no.
It's best we just know. So yeah, I think Edgar just states so, I think we found some more faith in my plan. He just grins and then takes a big swig of coffee.
Yeah, let's call it that.
Why are you going to Triaxis? Come to think of it.
Well, I'm got a meeting with your boss, which I'm kind of hoping will be before you blow her up. It could be after. We can make that work too, I think.
Just looks at it and he goes, "Oh yeah, I should probably just go in with you."
Hmm.
He just
I
grins.
would prefer to be far away from that.
You're no fun, Lyco.
Yeah, I didn't really get into this line of work for the fun. Or the money, as it happened.
He laughs and he goes, "Hey, I always paid you as well."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the
we
most
live
part, it
that
is
too.
true, right? For the most part, he was good to you guys, financially at least.
But my thinking is either, obviously, if I go in, meet her, there is the possibility that people get the impression that I set up the bomb or something. But if I have an established meeting and she's blown up before that, that could work.
Just laughs. He goes, "I think I'm good either way." He just kind of nods.
I'm assuming they'll probably be quite thorough with their scans. Someone like yourself might be able to get past them, but I doubt that they'd be. I doubt that there's much chance they'd think I'd smuggle with a bomb past them.
He just laughs at that. And he says, "Were you planning on taking a bomb?"
No, I'm just. I'd suspect me in their shoes.
He just grins.
Especially if I meet her before.
Perhaps you
If the
should.
meeting is arranged and never happens, as I say, that seems...
I think you'll still be questioned if that's the case.
Sure, I anticipate I will be, but I don't think I'll be considered the most likely suspect. Assuming
Yeah,
it comes to that.
yeah, no, it's just you're right. Zig is far more suspicious. Like, he grins at Zig.
Why I'm
Like
trying
Zig's
to
maybe like
find out.
mid-ear scratch.
Um, yeah, I think that's basically...
Yeah, and I think at that point, like, the alarms start buzzing in the bridge. And Edgar just kind of sets his coffee cup down and heads over to the console he was working on.
Zig
Yeah.
jumps to pilot chair.
Is this the universally known indicator of small creature floating in the void?
This is just the autopilot telling us that we're near the coordinates we set. Like Edgar just
Yeah,
sits
that's
back
pretty
to you
much
kind of like
what I
dryly. And then he says, you might want someone to go man a shuttle, I guess. Now that we're here.
So, are you doing them or am I? I say to Zig.
I don't mind. Would you prefer to do it, or shall I go?
I think Edgar just like sighs and goes, this command structure is woefully quaint.
Captain, Admiral, who do you want to go?
Like, out there? Is that because I never caught the first part? Like, is it out there? Definitely not me.
Yeah, Drift was bad to you, to be fair. Drift was very bad to him.
Yeah, I agree with that, but yeah.
Was Zig affected as well? Were you at the last? I
No,
can't
Zig
remember.
was
who
one of the
that
few people not affected.
Right. Was Lyko affected?
Yeah, I remember being alright.
Yeah.
I think Lyko and Zig was the only ones that didn't get affected. Is that right?
So, from what I remember from maths, you were affected the worst, and then I want to say, yeah, I'm now struggling to think, I think it was Zig. I think Zig was the least affected out of the crew, is what I'll say. But the captain was the worst affected of the crew.
right.
I think that's it. I think. Not to say other people were heavily affected, but there was definitely, a spectrum between two crew members, the captain being the worst.
So I think judging by past experiences, it's probably a job for music.
And just in case you did miss it, Nico, he did say somebody should man the shuttle, is what he said.
I mean, I'm not very good at piloting either.
No, you should not leave this ship.
Lyko, you can pilot a shuttle, right? You can do the shuttle thing, right?
I can. I maybe not quite as good as young friend here, but I'm quite capable.
Probably best that you take him out, because
Why don't both of you
Why
go?
don't we both go?
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea. Let's go.
sure. You've got the ship Alice, I guess. For
Alice is
hopefully not
on the
long.
bridge. She's been on the bridge for hours.
Yeah, I just said that
Yeah.
loud.
Captain,
Yes.
I think even Edgar looks around the bridge like, what?
might want to go and say that to her in person, since
Yeah.
both the comms are down. So
Oh, so are you planning on going anywhere, Zora? Like,
I mean, no. Alright, I thought. Alright, was you when you said both go? You meant Edgar and
Nico, what happened? Did you just go drop a
Right.
whole load of acid? Like,
right. No,
That's what he's
on the
doing.
plan.
He's off microdosing.
Oh, you mean I don't go on the ship? Right, that's perfect. Yeah, you two can go on the ship. That's fine. I'll stay here.
Edgar's like, I've sent the coordinates to the shuttle. Just incomplete bemusement to what's just happened. So, Sig, Lyco, these head to the shuttle just to get away from the bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, also because I did say I would.
Yeah, so you just head to the shuttle. Do you want to give me like a piloting check to see how well this goes, Zig? I assume you are the
Sure
one doing the
thing.
piloting, and obviously Lyco take
Can I
yours.
assist?
I assume you're going to be suited up though to try and scoop up
Oh, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you're looking for. So yeah, you're going to be a bit clunky, sadly. Okay, yeah, very good. And yeah, you take the shuttle out. Drift's obviously not the smoothest place to sail through. Definitely rocky, turbulent, etc. And yeah, you come up on some strange little object floating in drift, and obviously you position the shuttle so that you can vent the back space to allow the ramp to go down. I don't even think you need to rolling, it's just a nice situation of you assisting the object to find its way in.
Okay.
And the object looks somewhat mech-like in design. And yeah, it clunks to the bottom of the ramp on the back of the shuttle. Steal the shuttle up, and then you just can pilot your way back. This probably takes maybe the better part of like 45 minutes to get all the manoeuvring and everything done, and how far away from the ship you actually have to go. And you head back, you dock again, and yeah. So I think Edgar indicates to you, Zora, unless there was something you wanted to talk to Edgar about for 45 minutes while they were doing this.
Oh.
I figured as much.
Oh, just sat a bit awkwardly quiet, awkwardly silent.
Yeah, like he's just monitoring them.
Well, I think if I knew then to say something, I'm like that.
And he's just working on the computer that he's sat at, just making sure, obviously. And yeah, he just says, "That's them docked with the ship again."
Good. I'm gonna go see how it went. I know.
As you leave, he just like turns back to the computer. I guess I have the bridge then. As he just like stands in the middle and just folds his arms behind his back.
Captain-esquely.
Oh.
I'm sure he's not going to blow up the ship when he needs us to take him somewhere, right?
Well, he's also just moved himself away from controls, so he's just stood in the middle. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's just doing his "I'm standing like I'm in charge" pose now. And
Totally.
yeah, mm-hmm.
Islam.
Yeah, and yeah, you head down to the shuttle bay. You've got obviously them docking the shuttle, climbing out, and you look in the back of the shuttle. I guess Zoran, yeah, you see the familiar sight of a pretty beat up looking mech.
It's definitely the man. Should we tear this thing open? I'll like kind of conk on it, like knock.
Yeah, how do we...
I guess kind of look for like the obvious big, yellow highlighted button that's open mech.
Yeah, like
Hold A to...
This looks like it's been through a barbecue, right? So a lot of those types of things don't seem like they've melded. Drift has had its way with this structure. It's definitely
I need to treat
warped.
like a door.
Yeah, you're gonna need to essentially crack it open or cut into it with tools, something like that.
Cool. Is there like a, like a crowbar in the
Probably.
shuttle or something?
The shuttle bay is full of random tools. Like nobody ever cleans the shuttle bay, so.
I mean, Doshko, plasma, Doshko.
Like, you
Yeah,
have many
that
ways
sounds-
to get into this, yes. Like, yep.
I'll probably just take the plasma Doshko off my back. You know,
Yeah.
carefully got around the side. Try
Why-
not to impale little
Why
koala
don't you give me
creatures.
an engineering roll then? We'll
Oh
see how
no.
that goes.
Oh no. Awful idea. No.
You volunteered for this.
I mean, it's got to go awfully, boys.
It
Yeah.
didn't
Hold
go
on,
well.
hold on, hold on,
Hold that. What?
hold on.
What?
Gotta
You're
hold
linked
on.
by my telepathic bonds. First of all,
God.
I'm gonna just post this in the chat here. This is actually quite useful.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, would you like to spend your resolve point there, Zig, to give Zora a reroll?
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to help.
it might not, but you might get lucky.
I might, but
It's still something that Zig can do and is seemingly willing to do.
I'm happy to try again.
Look, I've got
Just be
13 of
clear,
these points. I'm just
If we
gonna.
view 25 as the required hit, you can't succeed.
And
Oh, I didn't even look at his.
well, it's one bell.
stats.
I don't have engineering.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but I feel like maybe even with this power, Zig extends his starry bond to Zora to make sure it happens. Zora is still not like this is also a Doshko you're using to do this with. It's not.
So you're describing it as a precision tool, you would say.
Yeah.
Precision in the sense of planetary
Killer tool.
invasion scale, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what other skill is there really?
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
Vesk scale. It is you have a Vesk and then you have planetary invasion. That is the scale. So yeah, I feel like somebody else has to do this. If you want to just leave this to Weird, you can. I'm sure Weird would just happily do it, or Alice, I guess. Also, if you go get Alice to do it, or you could give it a go.
I
One
don't
of
have
use.
spell open mech.
Surprisingly, I imagine only Technomancers would have that.
Can I
Weirdly,
intimidate it?
druids also have it.
Roll Intimidate.
Intimidate, yes, fantastic.
Okay. So what happens, guys, is this is the reaction Zora gives when Zora's Doshko plan doesn't work.
Yeah, and he just starts scooping at the neck.
Yeah.
And Vesk. Probably expletives.
You
Probably
okay,
a
Cap?
lot of Vesk expletives. It probably turns around and shouts one huge expletive at Michael.
Lyco's
Okay.
hair goes back in the wind. Yeah.
Captain, there's no need for that. I remember I speak Vesk.
I think by this point the whole crew do. Like honestly, I'd be worried if you didn't. But yeah, yes, and anybody else actually gonna try and crack it open then with a plan, or
I'll attempt to call Alice if nobody else has got a plan, but I'll let you plan up first.
I mean, I don't want to just start blasting it with magicy things. It's not
Good idea.
the best idea.
Yeah, I really don't know that I have any particular tools that'd be useful here, but I maybe could take a crack at it with. Yeah, it would have to be engineering. Engineering isn't as bad.
yeah. I mean, I think yeah. There you go.
There.
Look at that. So you take the Doshko, I guess, or something, that cutting tool variety.
Maybe like an actual like plasma cutter.
I like the idea that like by the time you come back to the shuttle, the captain's the one trying to cut into it with the Doshko, and you just sit next to them as they do it, and then he just screams at you by swearing. And then as you go, there's no need for that, and he storms away a little bit. You just then lift the plasma torch up to the camera, like, okay, my turn. and then yeah, cut into it. But obviously takes a bit of time, but still, you know, might be a bit slow going. And yeah, I think you crack open the cold one, as it were, and yeah, inside is a little unconscious Scaramander.
I will obviously check his vital signs quickly using a technique that's known as,
Rolling medicine.
I can't remember what they call it, but checking the pulse sort of thing. Checking
Medicine.
a pulse does checking a pulse does actually have like a real term, I'm sure. Do you want me to roll it life sciences or something for that? Medicine?
Medicine, yeah.
Yeah, 21. Enough to know he's alive, I would think.
There's a lot of fur. Yep.
Sorry?
It's a lot of fur.
What?
No, you're not
Yeah.
getting anything.
Okay. Yeah.
give him
I
a
will. I will nonetheless
over.
pull him out. Try and get a better look. Right.
Yeah, do you lift him out of the actual mech?
Yeah.
Then? Okay.
Guys, hold. Let's see how he's. Oh yeah, like maybe have some sort of, prepared medical supplies there, or someone can have brought some.
That would have been convenient.
Or
you have
we
you have
can-
the
May I,
med kit.
Lyko?
Like you'd literally have.
Yeah,
the
we have. Yeah. I think if you're there, I sort of just realize. Oh yeah, Zig.
He
Zig,
is prepared
he's,
medical supplies.
He is. Yeah. He's a bit.
Angel might be prepared medical supplies.
Do you wanna? And then I would just sort of like feed to the
Yeah.
ground to Zig.
Yeah, I guess I give him like a quick once over and then just kind of start my healing process
Okay, what is that healing
of the
process?
magiques.
Okay.
Grab onto like maybe like hand on his chest and just start pumping some mystical cures on that poor little boy.
Okay.
Lad.
Well, actually, can I check to see if he's actually alive first?
Sure. Yeah. Seems to be a very, very faint pulse.
Cool. Alright, let's give him one of these blasts.
Woohoo! 72 damage. Explodes.
72 healing damage.
Oh dear, so dumb, isn't it?
That was at level 4, wasn't it?
It's pretty good. Yeah, it was. See, this is what I'd love the 5e roller to do, is just state the level the spell was cast at. Because it really needs that. Because at the moment it just goes higher level casting. Doesn't tell you what the level was.
You see me
Yes.
Oh, that's
roll, and
garbage.
Yeah, it really is.
you
to be
can work
honest.
it out from the dish.
You can, but it's also just clunky when it could just say. Do you know what I mean? Considering it does ask you the question, why it can't print that information is a bit silly. But yeah. So I think you do that, and can you roll a reflex save?
Me.
Yeah.
Balls, I'm not great at reflex. Can I roll a will save instead?
Yeah, you can, but I also want a reflex save.
Okay. I'll put on a will save.
There we
also
go.
wasn't like
Yeah.
great either.
It's
but
alright, yeah.
Oh no, that was pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Can you immediately, as your feeling light connects with the body and you do pretty damn well with 72 health, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. Immediately, the little Scaramander wakes up and bites your hand
Knew I was getting.
and just starts screaming at you.
I think Zig just smiles, holding onto his hand.
And he starts like rubbing some of his like hands together, like timidly, as he like shuffles onto his feet. Kind of looks around at everything and blinks a couple of times.
Good. Glad to have you back. Enjoy your stay adrift.
Okay, he looks up at you, we CC, and he looks down at the mech. He points at the mech, one of his arms, and he looks at you, and gives you a thumbs up.
Back to this game again. CCV. My point and stuff. What? Ish?
Gives you 2 thumbs up.
Maybe a bit more refinement next time though.
He just starts like screaming at you.
And perhaps some warning.
Just still screaming.
Yeah, the warning would have been good.
Like, stops screaming at you, just folds all of his arms in front of him. Like in a mood.
This child has been told off. So,
Look, you did jump into the drift without really informing anyone, so understandably people were concerned. Anyway, you're back. That's good.
And as you say that, he just like puts his hands up to you, like
In a sort of grabby way.
yeah.
Yeah, out to his hands.
He just
He'll
climbs.
lift him if he wants
Yeah,
lift.
he does definitely want lifted. Yeah, he just kind of climbs and kind of hangs onto you.
Yeah.
And he just looks at Zora with like a dirty look.
give a toilet back.
Well, I guess what I would describe as like
See what you're doing. I see what this gameplay is.
faced the captain.
Oh,
You know the description. You know the facial sort of expression, the slight tilt of the head that I'm referring to.
It's a do.
Yeah.
I see his game. I see his game. I'm not playing this game.
Is this now when Nico thinks, wait, why did we want him back?
We bastards.
Oh, it's been so long since we've had CC in the game. Oh dear. But yeah, he mostly just clings onto Lyko and then just
You should probably have something to eat.
He just
break.
like pats you on the head and then points towards like
I
yeah.
take my cue and I'll wander through and get him some. Well, I think he can manage to get stuff himself, but I'll assist.
Yeah. Can take him to the mess hall. Where's Zig and Zoragon?
My eyes would roll as he leaves. I guess
That's
that's us back to normality.
I guess Zig's just gonna go to the sort of pilot.
Like the bridge? Was that it? Sorry. You cut out.
Triaxis.
Okay, yep. So you wanna like drop out adrift and replot a course?
Yeah. Well, I'll ask the captain first. Shall we drop drift and set a course for Triaxis, Captain Admiral?
Sounds good. Sounds good. I could shower. He doesn't say
I
that.
guess I'll
Give
just
a
like
shit.
mentally say to everyone, okay, we're gonna drop out of drift, or everyone who can. Prepare yourselves, please.
And I think in a rare occasion where I try not to R people as characters, I think Weir probably says, yeah, we're gonna check the drift drive before we touch it.
Oh, that's some forward thinking.
Smart.
I will.
Yourselves to be dropped from drift after it has been checked.
Since comms were down, I assume he said that headwise.
Aye, this was all psychically, yeah.
Yeah. Or headwise is what I'm now calling it. So I will respond with yeah. I'll ask CC if he wants to take a look at it as well, and then I would do that. We'll just sort of see something effective. Once you've had a bite to eat, do you want to have a look over the drive? We had to do some experimental. We had to work some stuff out on the fly to try and find you, so not everything might be fully functioning.
He narrows his eyes as he's like probably stuffing his face currently with stuff in the mess hall. And then just gives you like a thumbs up. And just starts like,
I nod back.
and just wolf him
then,
down, you know, whatever the hell it is he's been given to eat. Just kind of sits there and burps.
I'll put on a coffee and offer him a coffee.
He puts like his his hand up and 3 of his little digits go up.
3?
Yeah.
Is that like 3 sugars or 3 mugs?
Gives you a thumbs up.
I'll err on the err on the side of caution, and I get 4 mugs out.
Yeah, and yeah, he just like sits, burps after munching the food, and then kind of climbs over and just waits with you while the coffee's being made. Like he's very eager.
Keeping in the teaspoons.
Just like slowly like watching you like tip sugar into it and stuff like that, and then yeah, like as soon as they're drinkable, it is literally a case of he's just taking them like shots.
That's kind of what I was anticipating you'd be going for.
And he just kind of burps again, and just rubs his belly with like 3 of his hands, and then just kind of looks at you, and then kind of like points in different directions.
Points in different directions.
Yeah, just looks up at you and just like points in different directions as if, where to?
Okay, right. I was
Yeah.
going to sense the motive of it, but if I get a sense of where to from it, like I guess we better go have a look at this drive. Weird's concerned about it. Well,
Yeah.
I say we.
And he gives you like the 1 moment finger as he lifts that up, and like goes into like a cupboard and pulls out like, you know, some random electric utensil, like a whisk, an electronic whisk or something, and then just like clutches it, and you know, goes to follow you.
Yeah, okay.
Just like trailing the plug behind him.
I guess he knows what he's doing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'm not going to comment on that. He's done shit before with the tens and what have you.
Oh yeah. Captain has like a gauntlet launches a spoon, I think. So like,
Yeah.
bizarre.
Chisel on the spark. I really need to chisel on the spark.
Oh,
Did you
no.
explain that to Vesk security? It's actually Skittermander made me this spoon launcher, you
Oh,
see, but I chiseled it into a spark for added Vesk.
My ballistic spark.
So what you actually see is, my name is the Penguin of Doom.
Oh dear. So anyway, yeah, you take him down to the drift engine, etc. I guess in the narrative we know that it's likely that the 3 pretty capable engineers of the party are going to sort that out, right?
Yeah.
So I think we can just assume that's fine. And if Zig wants to drop you out adrift,
Sure, I shall. Once I get the all clear, I'm hitting the button.
Yeah.
Ladoop.
So I think like as Zora and Zig get back to the bridge, Edgar just is like, yes, the bridge is yours, Captain. He kind of half chuckles to himself, and goes and sits back at that computer console he was working on.
Oh, why is it I'm actually half liking him?
Right. Edgar's a
So
great
what?
guy.
It's honest the ones that does the care of him.
Yeah. Like horrendous. I was gonna say torrendous, torrential. Yeah, horrendous Breervath, but alright guy. Yeah, and Zig, yep, yeah, drop out adrift. That's fairly easy to do, to be fair. But yeah, you have a power that lets you know where you are in space, right?
As long as I can see stars, I know where I am.
Yeah. So that's probably the easiest way to navigate is like opening up all the shutters of the bridge.
Yeah.
And then like just having a look actually outside. And yeah, like you can see the stars, you can kinda like fix your position somewhere near Lyravara. So not that far away. Lyravara is just the next planet out. So basically you've overshot Triaxis.
This next episode going to be the beach episode though. We're just going the like beach mountains of Lyravara.
Yeah.
We're not Kubo tight. We're not going to be doing that shit. There's no Orihime in this party.
It's also just like the avatar with what are they called? The something players? I can't remember what they're called though. The ones that put on the play about the Avatar gang, as well. I'll let you look up what those were called. Avatar.
I don't understand this, but I'm
Episode.
assuming it's something to do with Shakespeare.
Yes.
Old world's a stage.
Yeah.
God, what was that called? Let's see if I can
The
find
great
it.
Shakespearean film called Romeo Must Die.
Yes. Yep.
I
Where Jet Li had to
would
become the
go with
one.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he had to fight
By the
Neo
power of
for
Grayskull.
the title of the one, because there can be only one, because Sean Connery trained both of them. How many links can we get?
Spaniard.
Who had lost his submarine? Yeah. Fucking hell. That's a reference chain and a half. Is it Ember Island Players? Is that what they're called? I think it is. The Ember Island Players. Something like that.
Yeah, players is like an archaic term for actor.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I think it's the Ember Island Players, and they put on like basically a retelling of the story of like the story so far in the Avatar show. Only it's obviously kind of done wrong because it's only the stuff people have witnessed happening,
Yeah.
which is good. Like Toph, the young blind girl, is played by like this massive like wrestling man, and goes, "My name's Toph because I'm tough," and she's like, "My God, that's amazing." She actually loves the fact that she was like terribly cast. So yeah. Anyway, back in this game. Yeah. So you drop out Drift. You know you're around Leovara. Plot a course for Traxxas and hit the button.
It's
Yeah.
Batman.
You want me to
Yep.
do boop roll for it?
Yeah.
Bladoof.
Hey. So yeah. Pop yourselves back into Drift,
Boop, boop,
and
boop, boop.
Beep boop. Beep boop.
it's good.
Again, letting everyone know beforehand.
Of course. Yeah, everything's
into
got the Zora seal of approval.
I say everyone, just everyone in Brain Loop, so I
Mhm.
guess Edgar and maybe Alice have to deal with that themselves.
And Ivan and Cece. At least Sindile knows. And that's the main thing.
That's all that matters.
So, yeah. I think maybe that's where we end it, with yous about to depart Drift Space. Or maybe you do. Maybe you just leave Drift Space above Triaxis, because I feel like there's very little we really need to do in the travel time between that. I feel like we've had enough time not at Triaxis. I think we can just be there. All the other time can just be like the engineers fixing the ship to be at least functioning and safe, I think we'll go for. If not perfect. Yeah. But we'll see how well your actual engineer rolls on that stuff next time, I think. Yeah. So I think we'll end. Yeah, but I think we'll end above Traxxas. And I think yeah, maybe the last shot you see is an immediate hail from a ship known as the Merciless Blade.
Wonder whose ship that is.
It's a ship you wouldn't have expected to see here, Zora. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, Matt for Valen Ellis.
No.
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 Is it the flagship or something?
It is the flagship. Here you go. Here is some scary numbers.
Lord. Here we
Now,
go.
see if you zoom in on that picture, by the way. See the ship leaving the mouth of that? That's the ship user in.
Okay.
It's a base ship. The super colossal base ship.
It's a super colossal base ship, folks. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's no ship.
It's
It's
big.
the super colossal base ship. Base ship? Yes, base ship.
Yeah, close enough.
Gunnery plus 28. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary beast, right? It's a scary, scary beast.
Nuclear mega missile launcher.
Yep. And obviously,
We need
like,
to get some of those.
Zora probably knows most of this, if not, probably, like, the gist of this information. So that's why I don't mind sharing it, because, you know, it's not like he's...
His face is probably in awe.
Yeah,
Because he
because
probably usually means something's happening.
this is, like, where you would command the Viscarium from, if not Vesk Prime. right? This is what this ship's for. So the fact that that's here is not nothing, right? That's definitely an important thing to take in. For example, this is the type of ship you would move into position if the Imperatrix was going to be on board. Not to say she is on board, but it's just to say this is what you would move into like a theatre of war as essentially the temporary or mobile Vesk Prime. So yeah, because even Demogesh's personal
Clearly.
ship is smaller than this.
Zora is getting promoted, and this is her new ship.
What was just still?
That's definitely what's going on.
I'm
It's
just
okay.
thinking
Nobody
that if they're
panic.
hailing us and they want us to come aboard, we're bringing a very powerful bomb aboard that.
Mm. We are.
Do you mean CC or?
I mean, I mean the literal bomb. I just thought, well, Weird wasn't here, so someone had to say it.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
I don't think Zora wants to blow up like Viscarian's best defense.
Sure, Zora's not the only one on board.
Yeah, and also like it might actually have the Imperatrix, who I imagine Zora does like, right? Like very few people have like a bad opinion of the Imperatrix. So if she was on board, probably don't want to like Demogesh. Fair enough, yeah, kill that guy. But that's why Demogesh exists, right? So that people dislike him.
Viscarian default, right? I mean, like, and that's a pretty good way to weaken them heavily, right?
It's also a mighty flex, right? If that's here, there's like Demogesh isn't holding back. Do you know what I mean? That should be in the front lines fighting the swarm. Do you know what I mean? That's where that should be. So, yeah, that's a big deal. So he's pulled a lot of strings to pull that here.
Might suggest that he thinks his plans are about to come to fruition, that the war is back on.
It's also Zora, you'd know that his ship's just called the Conqueror of Worlds, because of course it is.
Yeah, of course.
It's a pretty good ship name.
Yeah, but it is.
I think I would have gone for something subtle like Smash.
Diplomat. I always loved that name.
The persuader, the negotiator, the diplomat, the unfortunate conflict of evidence.
The fuck annihilator.
Yeah. So yeah, we end on that note with the ship being hailed by the merciless blade, as it just essentially like just takes up the entire visual range of the bridge, and yeah, we go to credits there. So that's nice. Let's look at goals. So,
Wow.
hack or get Demogesh's personal files? I'd say no. Clarify Shackle institution? No. Establish
I would say
stabilizers?
no.
No. Deliver solar egg? No. So, none of the personal
We've
goals.
all done that first one.
We
have
orbit
done
enter
it.
Traxxas. Yeah, like you are
Sort of.
literally in orbit. Like I say in orbit, you are almost in orbit of Traxxas. Yep.
We're pre-orbit.
Discover what happened to
Pre-orbital.
CC. I think you like. I think it's fair to say you have him back now, right? Like it really kind of was.
Yeah, we know he was in Drift since we recovered him from Drift.
Yeah, and I feel like the conversation the captain had about, so it worked then. Just looks at it and then gives it a thumbs up. Right? Like I feel, yeah. It's just not perfect. Yeah. But the idea of getting a miniaturized drift jump drive is pretty impressive. Because you could jump anything into anything with that. Which is quite good.
Quite good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'd say he's gonna complete that one if he's want. Yeah, I don't really see what else he's gonna do other than just say to CC. So what happened, and he's just gonna scream at you. So
Yeah.
Consider it's done.
nice.
Done.
Okay, conclude the Hevelara case. Nope. Speak
Yeah,
with
maybe not
Demogesh on Situational Nocturne. Yep, soon. I assume. And gain useful MO info. Not yet. So we've got a blank spot. And are there any of the goals that exist changing? Do we think anything needs to change? And we also have a blank to fill. So what we slotting in?
Um,
I'm cool. Keep
I mean,
what I've got.
obviously, there's a lot of tracks of stuff to go down.
Mhm.
but I also just can't think of anything to put as Zig's personal goal that is Triaxis-y related. So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts.
Yeah.
Like,
Lloyd Grace.
we didn't really have any like actual goals on Triaxis other than like Himani, but he's kind of the picture really, I would say, for all his
I may have a suggestion.
Hmm?
I could either have meeting with Emma, although that's arguably an autocomplete. Arguably,
Mm.
since I do think definitely stuff could get in the way. Or establish alibi for when the sparks start to fly. The
So,
proverbial turds hit their proverbial spinning disc that circulates air.
okay, the things to consider. These are early, right? So there's that. These are early to Triaxis for the meeting, which is obviously why the Merciless Blade's probably healing you. So that's a thing. So these are being healed by that.
Yeah.
And other things to consider. Triaxis is a whole planet with a whole planet's worth of things you could do on it, unrelated to MO or the Viscarium, and probably related in some way to dragons, if not specifically Himani. Right?
Sure.
So, yeah, it's a very well-to-do planet, quite frankly. Probably one of the more tightly run places. So, obviously barring Eox and shit. But, yeah, there's a lot you could do here. There's obviously shops, economies, shipyards, hotels, probably brothels. Like, there's loads here. Doesn't need to be a super convincing reason to be here. And you were officially hired to come here by Q-Bob. So, there is that. Remember. So, as long as Edgar gets there, you can get somebody to sign for something. Zora, you can get the rest of that money.
Oh yeah, there's rest of the money to come.
Yeah, remember the whole you were being paid to actually deliver something here? Yeah. Oh dear.
My original plan was just to like take the shipment, see what it was, and like take the initial 45 grand, and then decide if I was actually going to complete the goal. I forgot that I was actually going to complete the goal.
So there you go.
Because you weren't sure the goal was in fact Edgar. So yeah. Yeah.
No, I was thinking a lot more dubious things, to be honest. Well, I mean, it's still pretty dubious, right? We're basically like transporting a suicide bomber, but
so yeah, you probably want a signature first before you complete that job. Right, so you've got that. Obviously, it seems like the Viscarium are operating out of here now. So that's a thing. Yeah. Obviously, Lyco could follow up on MO or Dr. Halen, etc. Loads of stuff there. Zig could try to follow up on the Solar Monastery, if need be. Yeah, there is options, but what's the most immediate thing these are going to solve now that these are at Triaxis?
I feel like we should do something related to dragons on the dragon world.
Okay.
kill a dragon.
Yeah. Right, so obviously things you know, Lyco, in universe, right? You've probably told the others by now in passing conversation, at least with the amount of downtime that exists, and just space travel. The dragons have offered to pay for Absalom 2 Electric Boogaloo, right? So as long as it's above...
To Absalom to Fury Absalom.
Yeah, as long as it's above Triaxis, and so long as the dragons get a very powerful collection of seats in the ruling council of Absalom, they will pay for it. So, yeah, and that's I remember reading that in the holo paper way back on Castroval.
I do.
Your expensive water. So, yeah. So, That's probably the only thing you really have off the top of your head, besides all the stuff with Himani and the fact that you have met dragons in the past. Remember that whole cave thing? Yeah. So, be interesting to see if they remember you guys. Yeah. So yeah, what do you want from dragons then? What's the plan?
Assuming they would, right?
Keep in mind,
They know.
you don't have bad blood with Himani, technically.
No.
No, I don't. I mean, we don't.
Yeah. Last time you seen him was with Bob,
Uncover
remember?
dragon purpose.
It could even just be, checking with Himani, like in the sense of what would you like to achieve? What would you like to gain? I guess. What do you think will help you achieve other goals?
I want to achieve dragonception.
I don't know what
And
that
that's-
means.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
I'm riding into battle and be a dragon.
Okay.
All breathing fire.
Okay.
Both of them breathing fire because they can. It's
Okay.
dragonception.
So Zora breathing fire on the back of a fire-breathing dragon. Riding into battle to where? Like Octurne, I guess?
Yeah.
The big
why not?
neon finale thing? Yeah.
No Galash take that one. It's fucking invincible.
Yeah, I mean...
But no, seriously, I don't actually have a
gain
clue about
dragon
dragon.
mount? I mean, why not? I have seen weirder goals. Okay?
That's been weird to goals, I suppose, yeah. Probably not. Oh gosh, so bad. I'm pretty sure that was a goal at
That
some
was
point.
a goal, I think, yeah.
Yep.
What about yourself, Zig? Any thoughts on any of the suggestions thus far or avenues highlighted thus far?
Oh.
Mm.
We could kill Hermione, but he just might not understand why.
Yeah.
Or maybe he would. Like, maybe dragons have, like time brains, and find out if dragons have time brain.
Yeah, could be a goal.
If you phrase it like that, that is definitely something.
Didn't we meet the dragons before the year that got fucked up?
Yeah, but he means all the stuff with
Yes.
the Manny sense.
Oh, right, okay.
Like the
yeah,
whole
so-
void egg in the vault nonsense.
Yeah, like after the... Yeah,
The thing that he was hoping to confirm by going into the
so
vault.
the dragon should remember us then, right? At
He
least,
definitely did not confirm.
Yeah, correct.
maybe not.
So, but all the dragons that you met should remember that, because that seemed to be before all the time jank. Yes. You all still remember that happening once. So,
Right.
all the time stuff was quite a
That's
while
probably
later.
the last thing that happened. Like, one of the last things that happened, really, before Time Jank, really.
Yeah, because you kind of jumped the ship out of there, right? Yeah, I think it was Hermione came on board and introduced himself and made his propositions at that point. And he wandered on his Charles dance and was said permission to become a board captain. And then treated Nix 5 like a toaster, which was awful. And so he made a bomb, because it's what Nix 5 does in times of stress. Oh dear. So yeah,
Stress. Oh,
what are we thinking then? So above Triaxis, you've got some Vesk in your face. There's Vesk everywhere. Get an MO meeting potentially. You've got an Edgar to deliver. And I mean, yeah. Zig's personal goals on another ship orbiting another planet. So
Yeah. So if someone can think of something.
in fact,
I
Lyco's
guess I
personal
can't
goals on
think of
another
anything.
ship possibly, or on another planet somewhere.
might be to Veskin, and it might just be impossible or all complete-ish is just find out why the Merciless Blade is actually here. Because it's probably obvious why it's here.
Steal the merciless.
I mean,
It's a good
fucking-
goal.
that's a good goal, man.
I mean, hey, I've seen you guys do weirder stuff, right? Remember that time you all like that weird T-Rex thing and you all got telepathy?
Do you know what? I can't bother to fix it.
Steal the Merciless Blade.
The-
Blafty.
The Blafty. I love it. Still the Merciless Blafty. It's actually a translation error
I think
from
considering
Vesk.
the crew numbers involved, that might not be attainable.
Yeah, but it's a
goal.
lot of XP.
We'll just be like
A lot
the
of combat goals.
Pylons. we'll be the Cylons, right? And we'll just activate the what was it called? The
The goo bats?
thing that vents everybody.
Okay.
The life support systems.
Uh-huh.
We'll fuck about with the life support systems, and then it'll vent everything, and we'll Cylon them.
And you have a beer vat on board, right? Just
Yeah.
yeah, you could
I
like.
don't know how much.
Now,
Or
here's the question: does it only count as one combat goal if the combat just goes through the entire ship, or would it count as multiple combat goals? Because if it's only worth one combat goal, it might not be worth it.
It's a very good question. It's probably worth a couple at least. Yeah, it's maybe worth more than one. Uh-huh.
or I
Okay,
use
good.
my
That's fine. I'm
superior
down.
Vesk diplomatic skills and like
Yeah, so I think
of humanity, put to the Vesk humanity, you know, and then make them all just start a coup. I'm already joking, but it's not gonna happen.
I mean, again, I've heard of worse plans. It's so when you just look at the stats of some of its fucking weaponry, though, it's just disgusting. Yeah. +10 to any 6 checks per round, and the computers also had a +4 for the sensors. It's also just a -1 to piloting, so it's as awkward to handle as the Finler. That's pretty impressive, to be fair, for this scale. And a minimum of 150 people to operate it. So it's somewhere between 100,000 people or 150 people. So while that scale's big, it still
Probably
would,
up to our original skill.
like, these are also, you might struggle taking on 150. Maybe not so much crew only, but like Vesk crew are probably awkward, right? Not just like normal crew. They're really awkward to just like attempt to dismantle because they're all probably fairly highly trained military officers as well as technicians and shit. So, yeah. 150 of those might be tricky, I'd say, to defeat.
Mm.
But it would still be an impressive goal. Like, I think, see if you've managed that somehow, right? If you somehow managed to go through that, like that crazy level of ridiculousness, and by that I mean use and not calling in favors from, like, you know, what is it, the 6 or 7? 6? Yeah, however many bone sages actually are left. Yeah, 7, I think, yeah, 7. And the 7 remaining bone sages, who could do that easy, obviously. Then, fair play. I'd maybe just give you a.
Then we could call up old Babak and be like, Babak, got any spare stewards to help us crew a fucking super colossal base ship?
I mean, it's like, you've got a lot of stuff to do with Babak anyway, right? You actually have some stuff to follow up on based on Lyco's goals as well, actually, just mentioning Babak, so that's not a terrible thing to say. In terms of levels though, I might just make you level 18 if you could steal the Merciless Blade somehow. That's how many combat goals that's worth, Callum.
Okay.
Let's fucking do it, boys, man. That's time well spent.
That would be a
Like,
couple of months of
I mean,
RP.
I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to like make anyone do anything they wouldn't normally do. But at level 18, Zig's pretty nasty.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty nasty at level 18 as well. I think about it.
I think I get my meteor shower thing.
That's when like all my Solarian powers double. Like just everything doubles.
I think 18's a good one.
I'd hope so.
The range doubles. And my sniper moves, so it turns into basically shoot you from fucking the other side of the planet. Because why not?
So yeah, it's definitely a fucking gold tier goal. Yeah. Anyway, any other goal related conversations you just to update, change, or whatever? Going once? Going twice? I'm assuming no. Going 3 times? No. Okay, cool. In that case, wrap up chat time. So, Captain, how you start us off?
It's good
Rename
to
the
see you
session?
back.
Actually, well, we should
No.
probably name the session. I think have we done that yet? We've not done that yet. I've skipped
I
that
don't know if
stage.
we've done that.
No, we haven't. We should name the session before we go into wrap up chat. I think it's because I jumped straight into goals. So, what are we calling it?
Oh, we normally name it straight after.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Not all who drift are lost.
That's not bad. I like that. Yeah, if you want to type that up.
Uh,
Go for
it's,
it.
it's not my best work, but it's something.
It's alright. I like it. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm.
Anything else?
Mm,
Mm.
I also just liked the speak the Demogesh name.
Demogesh name.
It's just so dumb. That's
I
not
wish I
supposed to
said
be
that at the end. I wish I said that at the end, but I didn't. So it doesn't work. It's all
That's
out.
not supposed to be here.
But I wish I said that at the end.
That's no moon.
That's got
Super
it wrong.
colossal
Doesn't
base.
matter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've already done Colossal,
Yes.
are not right.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
we've got colossal base.
It's not
Big
bad.
ignore my horrendous spelling of the word
It's fine.
colossal, but that's okay.
Part of me wants to choose super colossal base ship just for like fact that we've already got a ultra not.
Yeah. I don't hate it as an idea, to be honest.
But it's a pretty big part of this episode, but not really the biggest part.
Well, what was the biggest part of the episode for you?
Probably just getting CC back and stuff right. It's been in the making for a while.
So, how would you word that?
I quite like not all who drift or lost, quite frankly. It's
I
quite
also just love the term regarding CC because I think that's funny. Right? Like, I don't know why I find that funny, but
I'm going to vote for not all who drift.
Carbonated copy.
yeah, yeah, caramelized copy.
Nah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I was trying to go for like a carbonite and slash carbon copy joke
So,
because he was
welcome,
cold from the
Grumpy.
void of space, but it
Thank
was
you
a
for the
stretch.
raid. Thank you, buddy. We're just about half an hour.
It's in
Yeah.
giving that we
Hello.
receive. Hello
Hello.
Hallows.
and welcome
So,
to this mess.
St. Francis, is that what you're going for?
Yeah, St. Francis with a CC.
Yeah. Okay, that's fucking awful. Yeah. Uh-huh. I just wanted you to say it.
Sorry.
You're actually, this is a terrifying thought. You weren't born until like years after Thatcher was out of power. I was going to reference Thatcher there, and it's like, you know what? I'm not even old enough to really remember Thatcher's reign, but like she famously, was it not St. Francis she quoted when she was first
I'm not sure.
voted into office?
I'm
Oh,
not
I've
sure.
no idea.
I just remember studying St. Francis of Assisi because I think there was a
I-
poem I studied in English for that. But anyway, what else are we going to go for? So we've got a bunch that are good here. I do like Super Colossal Base Ship, I'm not going to lie.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the prayer of St. Francis she quoted.
Except the correct spelling.
It's okay. Copy the right one. Oh, that's our winner then.
Oh,
There we
good.
go. Perfect.
Yay.
Okay, now we go to yourself, Captain Zora.
I go. Hello. Welcome. Hope you all had a good time.
Yeah.
I did. I did nothing. Stood Stokely though. That was good. But no, it's good to have CC back.
Yeah,
It's
right.
good to,
It's always nice
Come on.
having the little guy back.
it's interesting to have the flagship. Maybe Big Mama herself
Mm-hmm.
Boom,
Yeah,
boom.
the Imperatrix herself. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Might be interesting. How that goes, I don't know. It's quite worrying, to be honest. Probably means that game's back on. Game on.
The Sorry, I'm going back through our fan art that we had. Remember? We can now show this again because we have CC back. CC is the small blue one, and our captain is the large lizard one. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I love it. So dumb. Thank you, Callum, for that.
You're welcome.
That wee angry face.
It took
on
me a lot of
CC's.
time and effort to create
You
this.
satisfied?
Oh, ridiculous.
Queen, come on.
Yeah. So
Keep yourself alive.
yeah, please continue. Zora.
Oh, yeah. Edgar was pretty funny.
He's quite charming, isn't he? Yeah. There's his moments.
I mean, I did quite enjoy the interactions between him and Sora, to be honest. Sora just these utterly unnecessary quips every 2 seconds.
It is the type of thing that the fans would ship the two of them 100%. That unnecessary aggression between the two. Yeah, yeah, that kind of polite aggression. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's just aggression for Zora, to be honest. Edgar's not been that bad, to be honest. Zora just wants to.
I know it's nice to not just have a weird, constant aggression towards certain NPCs. Nice to have a break from that.
It's just my job. And it's quite reminds me of straightforward aggression.
Yeah,
like I'll happily sit in the front seat watching you get blown up, man. That'll be great.
You're a big 8-foot lizard, man. It's understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite direct. But yeah, well, that was good fun. It was good fun.
Nice to be back as well.
Decent amount done for
not
the longest session.
No, it was about an hour shorter than normal. That's fine. It's fine. Say that loosely. Yeah. Anything else, bud?
No, that's it.
Okay. And Zig. Healer extraordinaire of 72 healing damage.
Did all that 74 healing damage or whatever it was.
Yep.
Did I take any damage for that bite in the hand? Actually, I didn't actually.
No. You'd been your suit.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind then. Do you know that whole scene of deciding whether Lyko or Zig were going to go to the shuttle
was
Yep. Was just gold. It was gold. It made me smile. It made me laugh. It made me cry. Everything you need from an amazing adventure. And yeah, Edgar was just perfect in that sort of scenario.
Wondering why he ever paid this crew to do anything, quite frankly. Long ago, going,
yeah,
he's got worse with time.
Finally seeing what he paid for all those.
It's like undercover boss, right? Like undercover boss. Well, it has been years for Zig. It's been
a year I suppose it has been,
for the rest, but you do have 2 years. Timeline.
Bonker.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's this game.
Utterly ridiculous. Time Jank's great. It's nice getting CC back too. It was nice that the plan actually worked.
Yeah. Our plans always work.
I had my doubts. I also wasn't sure if CC was going to emerge living. I was a bit concerned about that. I was getting like emotionally prepared to kind of just like if he's gone, it's going to be fine. Callum's going to take this. It's a fictional character. It's all good. Callum will be fine. But no, Callum is relieved that CC is not dead.
Good.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And coffee. I liked the little coffee touches. It was good.
Yeah. Everybody just chilling, waiting on the computer to do its work, essentially. So everybody got have a wee chat. Yeah. No, as I said, it was quite a nice session, even though we were down on our usuals. It was still nice to have the gang operating, and doing their jobs, etc. Lyco getting volleyed out of bed as well, all good, all good. Yes. Anything else, bud?
Yeah, I just think it was nice to also just kind of stop and be like, okay, right, what we actually gonna do on Triaxis, because like we don't have many opt on goals for Triaxis. But like as you say, there's a whole planet there.
Yeah.
A whole load of stuff to do.
Definitely. As I said, it's a planet you haven't really engaged with much beyond that potential crash landing you had there, but you aren't really sure if you were on Triaxis in that cave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
maybe that should be my goal. Just kind of like hunt for the cave we got.
it's just that like vacation mode zig again, as I had in my head earlier.
I get this is one of those goals which I'm taking that as just like a sort of daft thing we're throwing out. But every now and then I find that, found a couple of times in another game in particular, people will have like an elaborate plan about something and then you just go, okay, but why do you want to do that? So I'm assuming you don't actually want to find that cave, right?
I mean, now that you've said it, sounds
Now that it's popped into my head, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm curious.
I mean, potentially you could maybe go there and do some mysticism rules and what have you, and see if you can figure out anything interesting.
Goes there and chats to the other 74 zigs that have just all had the same idea through the different timelines. Yeah.
The one dog that's just wound its way in there.
Yeah.
There's like a little zig registry booth.
Yep. Who is your zig
yes,
and what did he do?
You?
You get like a raffle ticket handed to you, like a cloakroom. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. In as much sense as the rest of this game is made, so yeah. I mean, yeah, who knows? Maybe just call it Safe Cave. Every game needs a safe
Welcome
cave.
to Safe Cave.
Yeah.
Your ziggiest stop.
Can you imagine if somebody brought up the sun in that cave? Can you imagine? So many zigs.
It's like like if you've got like a full barn of like turkeys and you go.
I know that very well based on the videos you sent me.
Yes. Yeah, it'd be like that, except you go, the sun. It's the sun.
Just a big rippling of that. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. Solar chatter.
I like that. It's good. Could be a good session title as well. Solar chatter. Very pro. And anything else, buddy?
No, it was fun.
It was.
Thank you for running.
Thank you for playing.
And thank everyone else for playing too. It was really fun.
Yeah. And Lyco.
And Lyco is also pleased with the survival and retrieval of young CC. I say young CC. I don't know what age CC actually is. But yes, and I was glad he was retrieved. I was pretty confident that if we were able to find him at all, we would find him alive, because I am driven by sheer liquefied narrative flowing through my veins.
That's how Doom will defeat you one day, and you know it.
Yes, I remember that comic. So yeah, I was like, yes, the laws of narrative demand that if we find him, he be alive.
It would also just it would be such a dour note, right? Like, as much as I don't have an issue killing off characters that make sense if they got themselves into a situation that would get them killed, but going through the amount of effort to get him back and then him being dead would be such a dour note with no upside to balance it at the moment.
Yeah, what would the benefit be of that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was nonetheless glad to retrieve him, and also, yeah, to sort of survive survive the how to put it, the after effects of this experimental.
What, the drift jump thing, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
like the drift coordination, triangulation,
Mhm.
whatever you call it, thing.
Yeah, the drift experiment, you could probably just call it, right, for an accompanying term, because it was really, or the drift sonar, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, like Edgar said, it wasn't exactly a subtle approach, but it was a quick approach that he could think of. Yeah. Also highlights like how he thinks and what he can do, right? That isn't just make money from selling weapons to people. So, yeah. Really
Yeah, so
confident.
we sort of managed to muddle through that despite being one down,
Mhm.
and unfortunately down precisely the wrong one for that sort of event. Forewarning for our loyal audience
And
that
forearmed.
you will be down. If forewarned is 2 to 3 armed, that you will be down a Colin next week. So there may be a Lyco-lessness to the situation, which we can work out in post. But yeah, so it was unfortunate. This would have been a good time to have had him, but can't always work that way.
Well, it depends what we do next time, because obviously, if we are all on next week minus yourself, then it'll just be a Merciless Blade and Vesk focused one with whatever weird and Zig want to get up to.
Exactly. And there's also the possibility that down the line we can maybe revisit some of the drift stuff and the implications of that as well.
Yeah, sure.
In the longer term.
I mean, we do have retroactive travel time that we've skipped as well that can be capitalized on if need be. Because
I sort of meaning like just because we didn't necessarily touch it on it in this session doesn't necessarily mean that we won't in future. Because I think there is more to explore.
Yeah, and you know that like the Vesk have at least made an incursion into drift tech, if nothing else.
A somewhat conveniently timed one. So we shall see if anything comes of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's but.
No, I think that's about that.
Yeah, that was good. Well, yeah, thank you all for playing as well. Delight as always. Nice to be.
Running.
You're welcome. Nice to be back. As I said, one down, and obviously next week if we do run, we'll be one down again. But we'll just see how things go.
One to go.
And yeah, we're now above Triaxis. We got a big planet full of dragons, and surrounded by horrible war lizards. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Anyway, thank you everybody who watched as well. Thank you also to Mr. Grumpy Scotsman for the raid. Thank you very much for that too. Hello to Wee Coulter. Thanks for joining us in the end. And yeah, goodbye everybody. Say goodbye everybody.
Goodbye everybody.